Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is our Manchester United versus Valencia live stream watch along. If you're here for the match reaction, the link is in the video description. If you're here live, then there is no match reaction because that would be going into the future and I ain't going down that road. But we do have the team news in from Manchester United, and it's very funny how the Sun this morning was saying that Alexis Sanchez may never play for Manchester United again. The United Stand Twitter account said, I bet he starts tonight, and he does start tonight. No surprises there. De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Bailly comes in, Luke Shaw, left back, so I think that's arguably one of our strongest back fours. Changing it yet again. Midfield is a concern for Fellaini, Matic and Pogba, but Rashford comes in, Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. On the bench, you've got Romero, Darmian, Lindelof, Fred, Mata, McTominay, Martial. I don't think it's a particularly strong bench, if I'm totally honest with you, but it's certainly Alexis Sanchez who comes back into the Manchester United lineup for this game, and Rashford comes back in as well. And I think when I look at that United lineup, for anybody who hasn't seen Jose Mourinho's press conference or my reaction to it yesterday, very, very definitely trying to put it onto the players again, which I think is just typical Mourinho. You know, he picks the team, he picks the tactics. As far as I'm concerned, it's year 3, it's on him now. If we win tonight, he'll claim the victory. So when we lose, he's got to claim that as well. But one thing I do like about the United team tonight is that he's gone for players that I don't believe that United players are not trying anyway. But when you put Eric Bailly in, you're going to get 100%. When you put Paul Pogba in there, I think you do get 100%. When you put Marcus Rashford in there, you get a lot of effort, you get 100%. When you put Alexis Sanchez in there, you get a lot of effort. So I think what he's gone with tonight is a lot of effort into that team. And, I don't really have any major issues with Sanchez playing, with Rashford playing, with Bailly playing. I certainly am quite pleased with that. So no problems with that from me. I think yet again it shows Mourinho for what he is. Another totally hard team to predict. I actually expected to see Juan Mata starting this game today, and I thought we'd see Lindelof and Bailly as his centre-back pairing. He's changed that again. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm not massively concerned about the United team tonight because, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with it, and I think we'll be fine. So I think we're going to win this game tonight. I've said that before. I do. I think we will win. I think we're more than capable of doing that, and I think we will win the game tonight. So yes, I'm feeling confident. So I am, and I think we'll be grand. I think we're going to be grand. So let's hope that it happens that way. So let's have a look at some of your comments. McMayonnaise on the bench. No, Andreas Pereira. I think it's absolutely hilarious that Manchester United... in fact, I'm going to have to tweet this out while I've got you. It was something I wanted to talk about. Manchester United tweet out a picture of Andreas Pereira, and he doesn't even make the bench of the team. Let me just type this banter out. Find it. I'll even dictate it for you when my keyboard starts working. Come on, you're pain in the arse. Why? What? What's going on? We need speed on the typo, not slow. Why have you gone so bloody slow for me? What's going on here? I was on Twitter and you've made me go all Irish. Let me tweet my tweet. It's going to be good. Come on. Right. Find it hilarious. I'll literally find it hilarious. The official... Oh, don't do that. Man United account promote the game this morning with a picture of Andreas Pereira. And surprise, surprise, he's not even in the squad. Banter manager. Get out. Banter manager, get out. I'm not going to be a flip-flop. I do think Manchester United will win tonight. I've been very, very consistent about that. I will not flip-flop. I do think we'll win tonight, but I'm still massively unhappy with him. We're not going to get 3 points back from West Ham, are we? We're not going to get the 3 points we should have got at Wolves. We're still out of the Carabao Cup. We're still playing shit football. And I do think there is this constant confusion as a Manchester United fan, I suppose, because yet again, you know, we've been demanding Eric Bailly play. He plays Eric Bailly, but apparently Scott McTominay was the best player on the pitch at the weekend, but you completely drop him. You know, Bailly comes into the team, which I'm happy about, but it's just his front three is a different front three again. He completely dropped Sanchez at the weekend, starts him today. Rashford comes in, Lukaku, but obviously he's got his firm favourites still there, Lukaku and Fellaini there starting. But for me, my big concern about this game today is going to be Valencia. I'm very interested to see how Valencia line up, and we can find that out very, very quickly with a click of the old. Well, I thought we could. What's Valencia's official Twitter account? Let's go through the trusty BBC. Let's go through them. They won't let us down. Juventus beat Young Boys 2-0. So yeah, they're top of our group at the moment. The good old trusty BBC haven't got their the team news up either, which is great. Okay, what's Valencia's official Twitter account? Valencia. Here we go. No, they've not bothered to put it out either. Why is nobody putting out the Valencia team? Come on, have some respect. Maybe they haven't released it yet, but I certainly can't see it, so that's annoying. Maybe somebody in the live comments can. Have I just missed something else quite key as well? Let me have a look. I've missed something absolutely massive in my ignorance. I think I've missed something quite big here. No, I haven't. De Gea is starting. Somebody said, I was reading one of your live comments saying De Gea's not even in the squad, yet he starts. I think we'll win comfortably tonight. I really do. I think we will. Knee bother. Not a problem at all. I think we'll be fine. This is Jose's last game. All the best, United, says Beret. It's on their Twitter mark, says Ivan. Because somebody just let me know what their Twitter is. I'm struggling to. I thought it was Valencia CF. Here we go. So they've got Batshuayi and Rodrigo up front. That's quite interesting. They've gone with those two up front. Geddes on the left, Coquelin, Pereiro and Gondiaba. So yeah, they've not got natural width with Coquelin and Condabia, and Pereira will be their main sort of players. Gaya, their left back, is very good. We've been linked to him before. And Piccini, Gare and Paulista making up the back four with Meto in goal. On the bench for them, they've got Ruben Vizos, Soler, who's very good, Gamero, Cherchev from the World Cup, Dikoba and Waz. So they're a good team, Valencia. They've only won one game this season, but they are a very good team. And I think they'll give us a test. So I'm interested to see how we line up with this. I do worry about the midfield. I can't pronounce his name, Condobia or something like that, French lad. And I think Coquelin can cause them problems. We are obviously going to do what we normally do and try and use our height. I mean, Martial has been dropped as suspected. He would do. I personally think he probably should have dropped. He probably should have dropped Pogba. You know, he goes on about Pogba enough. I think maybe he should have dropped Pogba. He didn't. He hasn't. He's stuck with him, and that is quite an interesting figure, I suppose. But yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that United side. I don't like the midfield. No one's ever going to convince me that Matic and Fellaini and Pogba. I mean, I like Pogba, but Matic, Fellaini, Pogba. I think he's a banter midfield. I don't think that worries Doncaster Rovers, let alone Valencia. But you know, he keeps going like that. JB, I'm 100% aware that my lineup is wrong. I go live before the lineup comes out. That's a predicted lineup, and I will get my lineup up for you in a moment, because I've got Andy joining me now, which gives me a few spare seconds to get the right team up for you. So that's always a predicted lineup in the first part. And now I've got Andy on. He can have a little talk about it, and I will change it. So, Andy, can you hear me?
I can, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. What are your thoughts on the team? I'm just going to shout it out for those people who've joined a little bit late, because it's not the one that's on my screen at the moment. We got De Gea in goal. We've got Valencia, Smalling, Bailly, Luke Shaw. We've got who have we got in the midfield? Valencia, Pereira, and not Pereira. Who's it? Well, I'm losing the plot here. Matic, Fellaini, and Pogba. Sanchez, Rashford, and Lukaku up front. What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, Mark, I'm just happy that we're not playing McTominay, Fellaini, and Matic in a midfield three. I still think, though, we're going to see, like we've seen many a time, you said it many a time, Pogba, we're going to be heavily reliant on Pogba to be our sort of midfielder who's going to feed the ball to the attackers, because Matic and Fellaini, they're about as useful as a chocolate fire guard in that aspect. I'm happy that Bailly is playing, but I expect a mistake or two from him tonight, because he's not match sharp. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I think the last game he played in was
Brighton, was it?
No, Derby, wasn't it? In the League Cup, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then before that, Brighton. So he's not really that match sharp. And I actually thought Delot would be playing at right back, because I thought Valencia was injured, but obviously he's come back just in time. Luke Shaw, I mean, that's probably about the only positive we can take at the moment. Luke Shaw, he's getting a very consistent run in the team. He's keeping fit. He's playing really well, so I'm glad about that. Sanchez coming back in, I expected it, Mark, to be honest. If Martial had scored a hat-trick at West Ham, he would have dropped Martial. So, yeah, that's my thoughts, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard that as well. I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that. I'd heard as well that there was a possibility that Sanchez might play. Not Sanchez, Dalot might play in this game. Obviously, Valencia did. I'd also heard that De Gea wasn't part of the team, when obviously he is as well. I mean, Valencia, I think Valencia was always a game I looked at in this period between the last international break and the next one. I mean, I personally thought we'd beat Wolves, Derby and West Ham and Newcastle, and I thought that this game would be a test for us, because they're, the Spanish teams. I think of Sevilla, they came and played us off the park a few years ago. Bilbao played us under the park, which I think was under Sir Alex. So the Spanish teams, even if they're mid-table teams, they've still got a way of playing football that just doesn't suit United and hasn't suited United for quite a while. So I always highlighted this game before the disaster of the recent results anyway. I mean, what's your sort of feeling on it?
I think, to be honest, Mark, they're going to come, and Mourinho's going to be quite happy to set us up like this, because we know what type of manager he is. They're going to come and probably have 60-70% of the ball. They're going to impose their style of play onto us, which is embarrassing enough. It's even more embarrassing that it's at Old Trafford, but I think it's going to be very much a Sevilla Mark II, to be honest, Mark. That's what I'm predicting.
Yes. You think we're going to lose?
I think we're going to draw tonight. I don't think we're going to lose. I think we're going to draw 1-1.
I do think what's happening with Andreas Pereira, says Manin Canon Balaji. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean, it's to be honest with you, I think Pereira is a conversation in himself that's very disappointing. Brilliant on the tour, but Mourinho has done what many people who've been Mourinho out for a long time said would happen. Pereira is a flair player, and that's not what Jose Mourinho wants. I personally think the bench is a bit of a joke. Martial's on there, obviously. Fred's on there. But apart from that, you've got Darmian, Lindelof, McTominay and Mata. And I just think it's just bereft of flair again. But that's the way Jose Mourinho does it. And but I think we're going to get a result tonight. I've got to try and stay a little bit positive on this, because I think what we will get tonight, Andy, is Eric Bailly's all or nothing. Rashford's all or nothing. Sanchez is all or nothing. And all right, they might not be playing that well, but they are players that give 100%. And I think that's what Jose Mourinho's gone with tonight. I think it's totally wrong what he's sort of hinted at in his press conference yesterday and his programme notes. He's a clever man. He's trying to deflect it from himself, saying the players aren't putting the effort in. And I think tonight he's picked players that he knows are going to run and run and run and run. And that, I think, will be enough with an Old Trafford crowd that even if we lost 10 games in a row would still firmly be behind United. I think we've got enough to get over the line tonight, and I can see as I think we might win it 2-0. To be honest, I don't know what your thoughts on that. Maybe I'm high on something, but I think we're going to win.
I was looking on Sky Sports as well, Matt, about 10 minutes ago. It was interesting. They were saying that Mourinho's put in the programme notes tonight that the club crest is more important than the names on the back of the players' shirts, which I found interesting. Again, he's trying to take all the sort of criticism away from him, trying to deflect it onto the players. Time will tell if that works or not. I don't think that's going to work, but I'm really, really hoping we win tonight, but I just can't see it, Matt. I think a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, a draw is probably going to be enough for him. I think unless he loses, I don't think he'll be sacked anyway, even if we lose, do you? No way. To be honest, Matt, I'm really starting to worry because with how incompetent our board is, it's all about money, isn't it? If he was at any other club in the Premier League, he would have been sacked by now. But because our board are so financially driven, that's all they care about. I can see him lasting the season, but I really can, unless we do something ridiculous and lose the next sort of 6 games in a row, which just isn't going to happen. I know we play bad football, but that's just never going to happen. I can see him lasting the season, I really can. Apparently I was on BT Sports. I don't know why. Maybe they were showing a compilation or something. Anthony Packer says, Mark, if Jose loses tonight, is he gone? Well, we've just answered that for you, Anthony, but thanks for the contribution. I've just remembered, you've just talking about contributions. I really just must do this very quickly. Link is in the video description for this. It's the BetBull app. We are giving away a Manchester United shirt at half time. The way you can enter for that, obviously I mentioned it last night, very, very easy to do. Link in the video description. You've got to be over 18 years of age. If you download the app through the link in the video description, it's on Android and Apple. You've got to be over 18. Please do gamble responsibly. Once you've downloaded it, go to the marketplace, search Goldbridge, go to Goldbridge FC, follow me, and then just put a £5 bet on whatever bet you want to do. You can even do my bet if you want to do it. So my bet for tonight, I have to go somewhere else to show you what the bet is, but you will see it. When you find Goldbridge FC and you follow me, you will see this bet. So £5 gets £80 back. It's Barcelona to beat Spurs tomorrow night. It's Liverpool to beat Napoli tomorrow night. It's Madrid to beat Moscow tomorrow night. And it's Man City to beat Hoffenheim and United to beat Valencia. So link in the video description for that. I will be picking a winner from one of my followers on BetBull, but you've got to put a £5 bet on. Link in the video description. You've got to be over 18. We'll be announcing the winner at half time, so you've got time to get that downloaded. Follow me, Goldbridge FC, like through the search thing, and put a £5 bet on. It would if you're struggling to find me, just go through to that marketplace place. That's where you'll find the microphone. The looking glass, type in Goldbridge FC, follow me, but make sure you put the £5 bet on as well. And we will announce the winner at half time. So thanks for that, Andy. I'd forgotten to do that. So can we sack Jose at half time, says Abhijit. No, we can't. We lack good scouts. I mean, what I worry about in this game, and obviously you don't necessarily win a game playing good football, which is a good thing with Mourinho in charge. But I do think that you're right. I do think I'll be very, very surprised if possession stats aren't firmly in favour of Valencia tonight. I don't see, with that midfield, how we have a team that's going to play football. I think what we're going to do is try and hurt them on the break, probably.
Yeah, no, absolutely. With that midfield three. And like I said before, it's going to be on Pogba. The onus is going to be on Pogba to drive us forward from midfield. And with how inconsistent he's been, that's another worry. I mean, it's not like he's in the form of sort of Kevin De Bruyne. I know De Bruyne is injured, obviously, but before he got injured, De Bruyne's form last season. So it's not like he's in sparkling form, is it? No,
and it's interesting when we talk about Valencia. They're no slouches. They did very, very well last season, and the reason I know. The reason I know is obviously because Andreas Pereira, people are talking about him in the live comments. Andreas Pereira was on loan at Valencia last season. So I followed Valencia quite a lot, and at one point they were going for the title. They've got some very good players. They've got Guedes, who was on loan with Pereira, but they bought him in the summer. Guedes played up front for Portugal in the summer. He's formerly at Benfica, then PSG, and he's now at Valencia. You've got Rodrigo up front, who's a brilliant player on FIFA 19, if you can get him. I think he's about 27. He's really fast, he's rapid, he's good. They've got Batshuayi up front, who I think, at Chelsea never really did that well, but he did well at Dortmund. I think he's, you could argue Batshuayi is better than Lukaku, really, certainly on current form. Then if you move into their midfield, they've got, I can't pronounce his name, Andy, Kondobia or something like that, plays for France. Coquelin, who was at Arsenal, who, to be honest with you, he'll be well used to the pace of this league, and being an Arsenal player, he'll be able to move the ball around. Their left back Gaya's quite good as well. So they're not. It's not like it's a good team coming to Old Trafford tonight, isn't it? It's not all right. It's not Real Madrid. It's not Barcelona, but it's certainly better than. I was surprised Juventus beat them. Actually, I think they're a good team.
Yeah, it's like to be honest, I think there's more household names in there than probably Sevilla's team that turned up last season. And as we know, Spanish teams, they've got a certain way of playing. It's a very good way of playing. So, yeah, I mean, they're going to come, they're going to pass the ball about, they're going to keep the ball, and they're going to come and impose their style of play on us, which just goes to show how far we've fallen from grace, really. Yeah,
well, they've got Cheryshev on the bench, who I think was, nearly top scorer in the World Cup, the Russian guy. They've got Soler on the bench, who's very, very good. I thought he would have started. I don't think he's had a great season, but very good. He was keeping Pereira out of the team last year. Chewy, I didn't just compare Rodrigo to the player version on FIFA. I obviously do my FIFA streams, as I'm sure many people are aware, on my channel, Goldbridge Livestream, and a lot of people have said get Rodrigo, who obviously I know a lot about anyway because of Valencia. But I was just saying, FIFA 19's been out a few days. If you're looking for a striker who's relatively cheap but super fast, Rodrigo's really good. I wouldn't buy him at United in real life, but he can cause us problems, and maybe that's why Bay's playing tonight, Andy, because Smalling and Bailly obviously are going to be far more mobile than Smalling and Lindelof, and Batshuayi and Rodrigo are going to be very, very mobile.
Exactly, and hopefully as well it means that Fellaini won't be babysitting Bailly, because I don't think Bailly needs babysitting. But that's another concern mark, isn't it? The form of Lindelof. I mean, I really like Lindelof. I hope he comes good, but at the moment it's just he looks bereft of confidence. He's just not got any confidence. It is really worrying.
Yes, and he has been being babysat for quite a while. Obviously, that's something that I've seen. So, seems to be a lot of legends at the game tonight. I've just seen Dennis Law going in, Ryan Giggs going in, David Beckham going in. I don't know why that is, for what reason, but I don't know whether we've got something special going on at Old Trafford tonight. I'm not too sure. I know they were struggling to sell tickets, Andy. I mean, you're a season ticket holder. You didn't fancy it tonight?
I couldn't get the time off work, unfortunately, because I don't get back from European games. I don't get back till probably 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing. That's why I didn't go tonight.
No worries. A lot of people choosing not to go. But you know what? I think. What are your thoughts on that? Because I personally think it's fine. I think Tuesday night, a lot of United fans. There are some from Manchester, but there's a lot who travel, and they've probably seen the football recently and think, you know what? I'll watch it on the telly because I'm not going to go all that way and potentially have a shit show in front of me. And I think the fact, you can't have it both ways, can you? And I don't agree that that fans should be booing or not buying tickets to the game. I just don't think that works. But it's down to the individual. If they've got a ticket and they don't want to go because of what's going on at the moment. I mean, I guarantee you, if we were beating teams 3 or 4-0 every week, they'd be going. They were just voting with their backsides at the end of the day.
Yeah, it happens, Mark. I mean, to be honest, most United Champions League group stage games, they don't sell out. That's just how it is. And obviously this football we're playing and the results we're picking up, that doesn't help either. But I mean, you said it last night yourself, Mark. They've sold the season tickets already. So even if I don't agree with fans protesting, like not going to games because it will sack the manager, I don't agree with that. But even if fans were to do that, they've already got your money. They've got 55,000 season ticket holders worth of money, so it's not going to do anything.
Exactly, and you know what? You're spot on there. I was talking to somebody about this today. Anybody who thinks not turning up to games is a problem for Manchester United. Andy's right. They've already got the money from the season ticket holders. They've got that money for the year. Their only concern now is in relation to tickets is next year. But if Mourinho... What they'll be thinking is, well, it doesn't matter because if Mourinho does crap, we'll sell him. We'll sack him. We'll have a new manager for next season, and that'll be excitement, and the season tickets will sell anyway. So it's not gonna cause a massive problem for them, I don't think. But somebody was just saying there, big fan channel. Why aren't you showing any positivity? I think we're going to win tonight. I want to win tonight. I'm not one of those. I mean, Andy, I'll put you on the spot. If you knew United lose tonight and Mourinho would get the sack, I mean, to be honest with you, if we lost tonight, what damage does it do really? I still think 4 games left to go in this Champions League, we could still get out of it. Would you take a loss tonight if you knew Mourinho would get sacked straight after it?
No, I wouldn't, Mark. I never want United to lose under any circumstances.
No, I'm the same as you. I'm absolutely the same as you. So it's definitely a United win. I just want to say as well, because I just saw Drawty in the live comments. I'm deleted one of his comments there. We don't want to be even mentioning that, Drawty, you naughty boy. But I saw something in the news today about Manchester University Student Union. They've banned clapping, whooping or anything like that. They want jazz hands when anything good happens tonight. So I'm opposed to that. So what do you think? We're a democracy here, the United Stand Union. When we score a goal tonight, is it jazz hands time or is it whooping and clapping? I think whooping and clapping, but I will be driven by the live comments. Jazz hands or whooping and clapping? I personally think clap off, Manchester University Student Union. We will clap, but as Piers Morgan said, political correctness gone mad. I don't think it's politically correct, but maybe it's the world we live in. Anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Andy? Jazz hands or clapping?
Whooping and clapping, definitely, 100%.
Yes, definitely, I agree with you. So, you're going for a draw tonight. I'm going to go Manchester United to win 2-0 tonight. We both expect Valencia to have a lot of the ball and effectively probably play us off the park, but I still think that you can win a game of football, as we have done many times under Jose Mourinho, Andy. It's not always about playing good football, is it? Although that is what we crave at United.
Yeah, 100%. We're not going to get good football under this man, unfortunately. We did see it against Burnley, and then he threw his coat into the crowd, and, look at me, I'm doing it for the fans, but he's played us all, Mark. He's played us all. He's reverted to type, unfortunately, which a lot of us predicted, but that's just the man he is, isn't it, unfortunately?
Dean Kazabov says, would you rather suffer for a night or suffer for months, guys? Until assurance Mourinho will be sacked, only a win is acceptable. Exactly. I personally don't think Mourinho, and Andy said it as well, I think even if he loses tonight, he won't get the sack. I think if we lost tonight, Andy, the board would think, well, if he beats Newcastle, we're fine. I think that, if he loses tonight and loses against Newcastle, I still don't think he'd get the sack. Although the first game back after is Chelsea away, where I think even if we were playing well, that would be a very, very tough game. I think, Chelsea away, we're probably going to get beat. I think that might be the game where it becomes hard for him, because we saw what those Chelsea fans did to him when he went back there when Conte was there, and they absolutely, I thought it was appalling, really, because he is Chelsea's best ever manager, but they had short memories and they absolutely mocked him. And I think I can't see us beating Chelsea. So if he loses that game and he loses it badly, he will get humiliated by that Chelsea support. So that's the game I think that I don't think we'll win it. I want us to win it. I'd love us to win it. But I think that is the game where it becomes very difficult, because then you've got Juventus after that.
It'd be ironic, wouldn't it? The fans who absolutely adored him when he came in and ruffled even Sir Alex's feathers, and then they just absolutely ripped him, didn't they? When Conte was sort of being the orchestrator to the crowd, trying to get him up.
Yeah, because Mourinho went up to him and wasn't happy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't happy. And how ironic would it be that the fans that absolutely adored him once would be just laughing at him? It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's just, and what do they think about Conte now? You know what I mean? It's madness. I don't want our club to become like that, Mark. I don't want our club to be rotating managers every 2 or 3 years. But the board have got to appoint the right manager. That's the problem.
To be honest, I understand that stance, but I'm not really bothered. I think if a manager's not good enough, you sack them. And I think, you've got to have the evidence. I don't think, if this was Mourinho's first season, I'd be like, well, you can't sack him after that start. You've got to give him the season at least. But because it's year 3, because we still don't know the best formation, because we still don't know his best 11, because we still don't know what we're all about apart from negative football, I just think that the journey's been run and it's time for a change. But I don't want it to get to I don't want it to get so toxic that fans are booing him and everything like that. I don't think that needs to happen. I think he is a manager. He's a great in football. Whatever happens, his history that is there. Unfortunately, it's not with us, but he is a great manager in football history, and the board should not subject him to it going that far that he's getting booed. They should make a decision. I think now, as I said on Sunday, it's in the board's hands. It's not really, the fans obviously are going to have made their mind up, but it's in the board's hands. Some people asking about Jesse Lingard. If you look to my left, you have got the other news category. Lingard, Rojo, Herrera all out injured. Valencia 1 win in all competitions so far, and United struggled to sell out Old Trafford tonight. So yeah, Lingard missed the weekend game because of a knock. He's still not match fit. And Herrera, I think Herrera might have been on the bench at the weekend, but he's not on tonight. And Rojo hasn't been fit all season, so those three are not going to play. Mourinho still loves Chelsea, says Samuel R. Draughty's still voting for Jazz hands. I'll give him some Jazz hands if United score. Don't worry about that. The club is much bigger than Jose, says James Farrell. It certainly is. And too much negativity from Mourinho, says Sean Hunt. I'm just going to ask you that, Andy, before you move off. What's your thoughts on Jose Mourinho's... the big comment for me yesterday was that some players trying harder than others.
Yeah, it's a typical Mourinho comment, isn't it? I'm glad that you do those shows, Mark, because I can't listen to Mourinho anymore. As soon as we finish a game, I turn the game off instantly because I can't listen to the man anymore. Even when we win, he just comes out with something stupid and controversial. So it doesn't surprise me, but again, he's a very, very, very intelligent man, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And even the Zidane, when he was asked about Zidane phoning him, the comment he made, it's all meticulously thought out by him. And it reminds me of the time when his first press conference when he came in and he got asked about the youth and his youth development record, and he whaps out that list with apparently 50 names on it. Yeah. It's madness, absolute madness.
I thought the best question was the last question from the Spanish journalist, who basically said the perception of you in Spain is that you're on a disastrous run and you're not doing very well, and he basically got up and walked out. I felt sorry for Mourinho, but I actually thought even the Spanish press are well aware of what's going on. So hopefully it will motivate Mourinho. I'll go back to what I said there. I think the players that he's picked tonight, he knows he's going to get 100% running around from, the Rashfords, the Sanchez's, the Bays. He might not get great performances because I think all three have been quite poor this season, but he will get that. And also what he gets with those three as well, Andy, is fresh legs. None of them played at the weekend, so he's got three players who arguably should be starting for United every week anyway, but three players who are 90-minute players who've not played, but I suppose, like you say, it's that sharpness that could be a problem. Bay and Smalling, I don't think, have played together this season.
No, it's Chris Smalling should be match sharp because he's started the last few, isn't he? But Bay, it's not necessarily that Bay worries me a bit. It's just I am expecting mistakes from him tonight, and he's that sort of defender anyway. He reminds me a lot. I think he's the closest thing we've had to sort of a Nemanja Vidic. He's quite rash in the tackle. But he puts his... I remember a great quote from Van Persie. He said Vidic put his head where most players wouldn't put their boots. And that's what Bay reminds me of. And if we keep him fit and we give him a consistent run in the side, I don't know if he can be as good as Vidic, but I think he can get pretty close.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of his. I definitely am. D-Rat Cooler Boy 10 says, I love my club and our fans, and I'm always optimistic. There's nothing wrong with that, mate. And I think on a match day... me and Andy are certainly of that opinion that, whatever, I think we'd both sack Mourinho now if we could, but I want Manchester United to win. That has to be consistent. Anyway, Andy, thanks for joining me for the team news as usual. Really good to have the chat. I'm sure you'll be in the live comments as well. And thanks for calling in, mate.
Cheers, Mark. I'll try and get on a fan cam for Newcastle this weekend.
Yeah, no worries. Flex will be outside Hotel Football, so yeah.
No worries. Cheers, Mark.
All right, mate. Cheers for that. I've just noticed we're one subscriber short of 282,000, which is another big thing for the channel. So if you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams coming up after the game. We've got a match reaction show after the game. I'm sure that's going to be very interesting. I'm going to do it a little bit longer tonight. We may even try and take some Skype calls as well. But we'll be live all the way through the game on the watch-along. All the way through. right the way till full time, then match reaction, then fan cams, and then tomorrow we'll have tactical debrief at about 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Skype shows back on 8 o'clock on Thursday night. So loads to get involved with if you're new. You don't have to be a United fan anymore. We get a lot of people involved. So get involved with the channel. Bottom right hand corner, subscribe. And please do drop a like on the video as well. That would be fantastic. Now, we'll have Mad Marcus joining with me in a moment. But I just want to draw everybody's attention again. If you are somebody who likes a little bit of a bet, we've got a link in the video description for Bet Bull. All you got to do is download it. Link in the video description. And follow me on there because I'm a bull now. Somebody might say I'm a bullshitter, but I'm a bull on there. So all you need to do is go to the sportsbook and search Goldbridge. Gold. That should be enough. No, all right. BR as well. And an I. What? Don't say they've got rid of me. There it is. Goldbridge FC. Follow Goldbridge FC. Reconnecting. Follow Goldbridge FC on BetBull. Put a £5 bet on, and you will go in the draw to win a United shirt from me, Mark Goldbridge, at half time. So just download the app, put a £5 bet on, follow Goldbridge FC, which you can do by going to the sportsbook page and it's playing up a little bit now. Searching for me. And if you want to put my £5 bet on, which you can do, so Sportsbook, search Goldbridge FC in there, and then when you've followed me, you will also see my bet, which is, and includes Manchester United. With a £5 bet, you could win 80 quid. Barcelona to beat Spurs. Spurs have got loads of people out of injured. Liverpool to beat Napoli. They'll win that. Madrid to beat Moscow, they'll win that. United Valencia is the one. And Hoffenheim Man City. So £5 wins 80 quid. I think it's a very good bet. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put it on. I think the only one to worry about is United, but I think United will win. I think that's going to come in. So link in the video description, download it, follow Goldbridge FC, and make sure you put a £5 bet on, and we will pick the winner at half time. Apparently there's a delayed kickoff tonight, apparently. I don't know whether that is the case or not, but let's interact with... did anyone see the Youth UEFA Cup where we beat Valencia 4-0? I did, Omkar. A very good goal, very good team goal that Tahith Chong won. Scrawny Beaver? What an idiotic comment. Everybody does it. You know, why shouldn't we? Silly boy. Very, very silly. Rashford to score and make a good impact on the game, says Vape Devel. Well, there's enough play. I think Rashford and Sanchez are very, very similar, aren't they? They're both players that are going to give 100%, but they're both players that are massively, massively out of form at United at the moment. So, it'd be interested to see how they do, but we will get the effort. That's what we're going to get. We're definitely going to get the effort. Juventus have won again against Young Boys. Well, they were always going to win, aren't they? They were at home as well. Lukaku doesn't understand the active touch system on FIFA 19, says the Goldbridge. Do you think if Zidane came in, he'd have a language barrier? I don't know how good his English is, says Sergio Hernandez. I'd imagine he'd pick it up quite quickly. Plus, he'd have somebody who could translate, I suppose. Great to see Rashford starting, says Trisha Nando. And Beckham as our manager. No thanks. Beckham is at Old Trafford tonight, Mark, says Abdi Ali. And we got Mad Marcus joining us in the house now as well. How you doing, Marcus?
Good evening, mate. How are we all?
I think we're good. I mean, what's your thoughts on the team?
Well, I just wanted to say, I thought Betball would send a light and got rid of you just now, but obviously they haven't.
Why?
Because you couldn't find yourself on there, could you?
Oh, yeah. No, they won't get rid of me.
But Team Luke, I think, I totally agree with what you and Andy were saying there just now. I think he's got a team out that's guaranteed to run their socks off all night, guaranteed to play it safe and do the best job that they can there. Whether they're going to put in a good team performance is another matter, which I think Jose desperately needs tonight to get the fans back on side.
Yeah, 100%. I think they do need that. Hassan Sharif has just said, have you seen what Scholes just said about Mourinho on BT Sports? We're live, mate, so obviously we haven't seen that. But if you want to put in the live comments what he has said, I'm more than happy to discuss that. I'd be very interested as well. They're on an advert now, so he's obviously said it and bogged off. But Yes, I'd be very interested to see what was said about that. But yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll see a different United tonight, Marcus. I've just got a funny feeling. I just think that I do worry about that midfield because it's just not very creative apart from Pogba. But if we can get the ball to the front three, there's a lot of tenacity there. There's a lot of a lot of effort there. And I think if Luke Shaw and Valencia can bomb on, we've got some opportunity there. But on the other hand, Spanish teams tend to play very good football, and we don't.
They
so
do.
Which way do you think it's going to go?
I hate to say it, but I actually think we're going to drop points tonight. I'm going to go with what Andy said. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think Valencia will have done their homework. They'd have looked at the West Ham game, saw that it's the same midfield lining up tonight as it was with West Ham, saw how West Ham bypassed us in the middle of the park and attacked us really well on the counter-attack. And I think that's probably what they're going to do tonight. They'll set their game plan up like that. I think they'll have plenty of possession of the ball. And the onus is going to be on United to press, which I don't think they're going to do. I've not seen them press high up the pitch all season. I mean, the first half of Spurs, I would say that they did a good job of pressing there. But since then, since the Derby game, they didn't press very well. West Ham, they didn't press very well. Wolves, again, dropped points, didn't press very well. So I think the team really need to get in their faces tonight and get that ball and dominate the game. But it's going to be very, very tricky.
Yes, Man United Boy 13 says, what are your opinion on the rumours that United are targeting Andreas Grangfist for a loan during the winter transfer? I haven't heard that rumour, but thanks for the contribution. I presume I'm right in saying he's the ancient Swedish centre-back that played in the World Cup, so I can't imagine there being any truth in those rumours, but thanks for the contribution anyway, and I certainly think it would be a very, very odd thing for Manchester United to be doing, but there we go. I'm just going to have a quick look in the live comments. Apparently Scholes has said something realistic.
Apparently he's been slating Mourinho quite a bit.
Scholes says he's surprised Mourinho survived after the West Ham game. Well, obviously, here we go. I'm sat here surprised he's here after Saturday. His mouth is out of control and he's embarrassing the club. Oh, yes. Yeah. I'll have some of that. I'll tell you what, I think that's brilliant. I think that's absolutely brilliant. I can't put it on the United Stand Twitter because we're meant to be quite neutral, Marcus. But what are your thoughts on that? Big statement.
Definitely. Big statement. Fair play to Scholesy. I think he's basically the one. I mean, between him, Neville, and Rio, they're the ones that actually speak up and say what they're thinking about it. And fair play to him. It's very similar to the Pogba quotes during the week where Pogba was saying attack. They're right in saying it, but the difference is obviously Scholes is a pundit, Pogba plays for the club. So fair play to Scholesy for saying that. Big up to him. Absolutely fantastic.
I think he's absolutely spot on, and know what? A lot. I've not been saying this until the weekend. I think that was my tipping point. I've not heard any pundit say it. I think as a fan channel, not just ours, vlogs, everything, you get a lot of stick for saying that sort of thing. Well, there you've got a Manchester United great who's got only the interests of Manchester United at heart. And I don't think it's brave. I just think it's absolutely fantastic that he's done it because it needs to be said. I think a lot of us are very surprised he's still at the club, and if he can survive that, then I think he can survive anything.
Well, I mean, that I don't think that's right. I think he's going to have. I mean, this week up until the Chelsea game, after the Chelsea game, if he's not gone by then, I think if we lose at Chelsea and it's not a convincing performance against Newcastle, then serious questions are going to be asked, especially if results tonight doesn't go according to plan. Newcastle, looking ahead, they can't score. They can't even buy a win at the minute. But Chelsea are absolutely flying. And if he gets schooled again at Stamford Bridge while he's Manchester United manager, I think the writing is definitely going to be on the wall in full capitals for him.
Jose questioned the BT pundits' desire when they were playing shots at Rio and Scholes. All right,
but that's a defensive mechanism, isn't it? Trying to deflect it back. I wish the guy would just stand up and just say, look, I'm at fault for this, I'm at fault for that.
It's not the first. Scholes has been targeted a couple of times by Mourinho over the last couple of years, so I don't blame Scholes for doing that. I mean, on the other hand, if you don't like what Scholes says, Gary Neville's very pro keeping Mourinho. He was very pro keeping Moyes. So yeah, I think it's great that we've got ex-greats of the club in the media with differing views, because I always think, you know, this is why I love the United Stand. This is what the United Stand's built upon. Is there is no correct path. It's just everybody's opinion. So it's great that you've got Gary Neville saying they need to stick with Mourinho. It's great you've got Paul Scholes saying I'm amazed he's still in charge of the club. He's an embarrassment. So. And as Bell Thapper says, Scholes is an ex-player who cares about the club. We need to move on. No one's bigger than the club. And Sean Easton says you're going to get done by the Spanish. I suppose it's realistic. Kickoff's been moved by 5 minutes, apparently.
8:05 now.
Okay. And he's got a big game on his hands, says Mohammed Hassan. And Newcastle always turn up against us, says Lee Thor. Yeah, but they'd have to be very, very bad. Very, very bad indeed. But... yeah, no messing from Paul Scholes tonight. Then I mean, I'll read the quotes. This is the quote I've been given anyway, so I hope it's correct. Let's have a look. Suicide. Oh no, that's my pinned tweet. Don't worry, my pinned tweet on Twitter is suicide is the biggest killer of men under 45. Don't suffer in silence. Ignore the haters. Remember, you don't need the bullies to like you. Just a few good people. Yeah, so that, you know, I've read that out. There you go, and that's very, very true. But the quote that Paul Scholes said is, "I'm sat here surprised he's here after Saturday. His mouth is out of control and he's embarrassing the club." I mean, thoughts on that, Marcus? His mouth is out of control and he's embarrassing the club.
Well, he has got some points. I mean, you know, if you look at the pre-season tour, you know, saying to the American fans he wouldn't pay to turn up to watch this. You know, talking about how he's not been backed in the transfer window, which Mourinho, again, does have a point with that. But you question whether Ed Woodward was right in saying, well, look, you know, you're not going to keep on wasting the money on 30, 31-year-olds who have only got 2-3 years left, because you're going against what the club is all about. The club's all about the youth, bringing through the youth and, you know, playing attacking football. We don't want to keep on buying stagnant players who just sit there and do a job and looking for their last big paycheck. So, you know, Scholes has got absolutely 100% spot on as far as I'm concerned. How he has survived that, because the performance against West Ham was diabolical. There was no passion. There was no urgency. They didn't look like they had a game plan. They had nothing. They looked absolutely soulless against West Ham. And, yeah, fair. I totally agree with Scholesy. Completely agree.
I think the thing from Scholes' point of view as well, to add a little bit of context there, is Scholes got slagged off by Mino Raiola, which is sort of Pogba, isn't it? He's been slagged off by Mourinho a couple of times. But the thing that sticks in my mind about Scholes, and there are parallels with Sevilla tonight, because it is a Spanish team coming to Spain, and if we did play them off the park, then at least that would be in some improvement from March. But I remember Scholes being very, very critical of United against Sevilla back in March, saying, how are we playing parking the bus at home? Why are we playing Fellaini against a team like that? And then here we are, 6 months later in September, playing the Spanish team, and you've got the same sort of selections again. And I think, you know, maybe Paul Scholes is thinking, look, I am an ex-Manchester United great, and I love Manchester United, but is this Manchester United? Is this the Manchester United that I played for all my career? Is it going in the right direction? At the end of the day, I guarantee he will have thought it through, and it's a big statement to say that. It's a big statement for him to say that, because it's basically Mourinho's going to have to come back on that himself now, and it's putting pressure on Mourinho. But I don't disagree with it. I'll always feel sorry for Mourinho because I'm an empathetic person, but I think it's on the board now. I keep saying this. The board have got to do something about it, and I think that's where Paul Scholes is coming at. It's not really even attacking Mourinho anymore. Everyone knows the poor results and tactics of Mourinho. I think what Scholes is having a go at there is the board. You know, how is he still in charge? How is he still in charge? How is he still running his mouth off like that? I think that's what he's having a go at. The board not making a decision.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you've got a manager that does that, that's almost saying, well, look, I can get away with saying what I want and nothing's going to happen to me. So, you know, that's showing everyone outside of the club, you know, all the fans, everything, the media, that is showing to us, I can say what I want. I can run my mouth. I can diss the players, I can put the blame on other people, and I'm still not going to get the sack. Right? That is what that says to me. And that just goes to show that he thinks he's bigger than the club. He's arrogant. He's not going to change his ways. But while he's in charge of the club, we got to sit and grin and bear it, and we got to watch these performances that are absolutely diabolical. And it's boring us to tears. We want change. I think the majority of the fans want change now. We're sick to death of it, having to scrape wins and parking the bus at Old Trafford. It shouldn't be like that. And again, I mean, just saying what you said there, Mark. I mean, you're feeling sorry for him, but I don't think you should, because he's brought it on himself.
You know what? I was very excited when we got Mourinho. I was very excited when we got him, and I knew we wouldn't necessarily play good football. I knew for certain he wouldn't develop the youth, and he hasn't. But what I also thought I knew is that he will win us the title, because that's what he does everywhere. First 2 years, and it's not just 1 or 2 clubs. He's done it at 5 clubs. He did it at Porto, Chelsea, Inter, Real Madrid, and then Chelsea again. So 5 clubs he won the title at in the first 2 years. And that was the big thing for me, because we hadn't won the title for 4 years. I was like, we're going to win the title in the next 2 years. That's the most important thing for me. He's not delivered it, and he won't deliver it this year. So that's 3 years of crap football, an arrogant manager, and disruption. And what have we got for it? What have we got to show for it? A Carabao Cup and a Europa League. That's it. So, I don't like saying it. I think the board were wrong to appoint him in hindsight, but I've got to put my hands up and say I agreed with it. But I have got to that point now where the sooner the better. I think we'll win tonight. I think we'll put in a good performance tonight. But even if we do, I'm gone beyond whether. I think after the Spurs game, after the Burnley game, and after the Watford game, I was like, let's get a bit of momentum. Let's see where we are in October. Maybe we can pull this back. If we win 4-0 tonight and we win 4-0 on Saturday, I'll still be saying in the international break, I've not changed my mind. I don't think. I think he's betrayed that trust too many times. And as Andy said, we did lose to Spurs, but we played good football. We played good football against Burnley. But then the last few games have gone back to what he was doing before. So the promises are always false promises. You get a little bit of good football and then he reverts back to it. And the only way he could have turned it round for me was if he'd won these last few games, go to Chelsea, not park the bus. And we know he's going to park the bus against Chelsea. So we're always going to have the problem, aren't we? But tonight is about United winning. And I personally didn't like what he said about some of the players' effort levels. I'm sure it's reverse psychology. But I want the players to do something tonight to sort of say up yours, really, because I think the players do try really hard. I just think they look crap because the tactics are crap.
He may it like you said there. It may well be reverse psychology, but I think he's been doing that. He's been doing that ever since. I wouldn't say so much in the first season, but definitely throughout his press conferences in the second season, he was using the reverse psychology to try and get something out of the players. And I think it failed miserably because of the tactics. I mean, the tactics, the style of play has been the same from day one. And whatever this guy is saying at half-time to these players, instead of galvanising the team to come out in the second half, they just come out and just think, they're lifeless. They've got no plan. There's no tactics involved. It's almost like if we're 1-0 up at half-time, okay, the half-time team talk is going to be, let's not risk it. Let's keep it how it is. Don't make any mistakes and just sit back. Just keep the ball. If the opposition don't have the ball, they won't score. And I think that's what it's been like ever since the start of the second season he was in charge. I've not seen a change in tactics. I've not seen a change in mentality. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he's wanting more and more money to fix his own problems because he knows he's made a mistake. He knows he's made mistakes at United that he shouldn't have made. So, I think feeling sorry for him, mate, I hate to disagree with you, but I think that's a load of crap. I don't think you can.
Well, at least if you're a complete failure for 2 years and an arsehole, I'll still feel sorry for you because I am one of life's. I'm just very empathetic to human beings. Even if I don't like somebody, if they're in trouble, I'll help them out, and that's just me. I don't like to see, and even though he's brought it on himself, I'd feel sorry for him if if we were 4-0 down tonight with 20 minutes to go and the crowd started booing him, I'd feel sorry for him. Not because he doesn't deserve it, but just because I am compassionate. I am compassionate. But I don't disagree with you as well. I think he's been very arrogant. He's been very, very deflective of responsibility. I didn't like what he said in the press conference yesterday, talking about some players try harder than others, because yet again, people are falling into that trap of him deflecting the fact that he picked Scott McTominay as a centre-back. What's all that all about? Anyway, we've had a contribution from Francisco Galindo, who says, I don't like saying we should sack managers because we ain't like other teams, but it's best for him to move on. A lot of problems are in his arrogance. And Manchester Scholes 18, who I think, he's one of he's not the best, because that's not right to say that, but Manchester Scholes 18 in the live comments, he always puts very consistent comments in there. And he said, I've got a horrible feeling tonight. I want to be wrong. I've just got a horrible feeling tonight that we might be in a bit of trouble. Which I do agree with. I think when you look at that, I nearly said Sevilla, because it could be that again. When you look at that Valencia side, it's a good footballing side, and it will cause us problems. But I think we're gonna. I just think we're gonna do something tonight. Ben Silver's made a contribution. Thank you. Remember, you can make a contribution through the $sign at the bottom, but please do leave us a comment so we can read it out for you. Ben says, we got Mourinho at his decline, Marcus. Besides, he claimed finishing second place last season was one of the best results of his career. Says it all, really.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it does say it all. How can he say that was one of the best achievements of his career? I mean, what is he? Is he basically saying there the whole team was absolute garbage, and you're lucky I've got you this far with what I've got at my disposal? No, he shouldn't be saying that, not at all. Especially when he's thinking, if we keep him in charge, right, in the long term, I worry about Pogba, Martial, Bailly, Luke Shaw, Rashford, purely because Luke Shaw, Martial, they're stalling on contracts. They are stalling on contract negotiations. Pogba, whether you believe it or not, his agent has said that he's wanted to go. It's paper talk, but that has come out. Rashford's progression through the team and his development has gone down the hill. And Eric Bailly just cannot seem to get a look in defence. All right, he's playing tonight, but I thought he played absolutely fantastic against Derby, and then he's dropped for West Ham for Scott McTominay.
Yeah. And then, McTominay, Mourinho says McTominay was the best player on the pitch, and then he drops him the next game. It's weird. His selections are weird.
Yeah, but to add to that, Valencia was supposed to be injured, right? But he's playing tonight. Now, people were saying in the not the West Ham fan cams, the one before, was it Derby, where people were saying he had an absolute shocker and it's time for him to hang up his boots. He could have quite easily played Dalot tonight in that team. And again, what on God's earth has Andreas Pereira done to not warrant a place on the bench? So that's 7 players in total, right? That quite arguably, you could start all 7 of them players in this team at the minute. You got De Gea as well, which would be 8 stalling, not wanting to sign a new bumper contract. So, that's virtually, Mark, that's 3/4 of the first team. If he stays, them lot could all possibly be off within the next year or two.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know what I mean? It's you either. I think the situation's come down to now where he goes, the players are happy, or he stays, and the players that he's fallen out with and don't want to sign contracts go elsewhere. And if that's the case, he's going to need more money to rebuild again. And you think to yourself, how much of the board trusted him in reinvesting this money? Because that's going to... You imagine trying to find a goalie to replace De Gea, a left-back, as young as Luke Shaw. All right, we could say Sandro, but again, you're only going to get 2-3 seasons out of him. Pogba would go to Barcelona. Bailly, I don't know where he would go, but Rashford would probably, could end up going to Paris Saint-Germain or something because he's young. And you look at these players and you think, is it worth losing these players over him? Not for me, not at all.
No, I agree. I do agree. People talking about we'll have to pay 30 million to get Jose out. I almost guarantee we lose way more than that in ticket and merchandise if he's not gone. Well, yeah, we already get the story from America, don't we? That United are no longer, an interesting spectator pastime like they used to be, because people are watching Liverpool. But I guarantee that would change very, very quickly if we started playing a different brand of football. But as I said, I had Phil Brown on a couple of weeks ago, who's been, he's in America, but he gets some very close interviews to United, especially when we're on the US tour. And he said, I've met Woodward a couple of times. He's a brilliant businessman, but he's not a football man. He ain't got a clue. And I think that's the situation we have with Manchester United at the moment. Sorry, I was doing some jazz hands before when Marcus was talking. So this is a great story from Manchester University Student Union. They've banned clapping and whooping now because they want to do something more inclusive. So when they like something, they're going to do jazz hands. So, being a little bit topical, I said earlier, if United score tonight, should we do jazz hands or clapping? So a lot of people want the jazz hands. So I really want to see those jazz hands floating around the show tonight. But can't watch the game on normal channels today in the US, says Andy Matimu. Well, we'll keep you updated. The match is delayed because of their bus. Okay. The board should never have given him a new contract if they weren't going to back him in the window. They're culpable as hell in my eyes. Yeah, I think that's a good comment from Gary. That is a good comment. I said that in the summer as well, Marcus. Ultimately, whatever we all think, I do put the responsibility with the board now. And I do think in the summer, why do you give somebody a new contract and then refuse to sign in the players that he wants to sign? Not that they're wrong to refuse him, but if you're refusing the players he wants in the summer, then why don't you sack him then? I'm a firm believer that you back somebody or you sack them. And if you've got reservations about their signings, why did we go into a new season with that person? It's like you've either got to back him or sack him, and I do agree with that. With people's conversations there about the board.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I'm trying to look at it from both sides. When you've got your centre backs as Smalling, Jones, Rojo, Bay, Lindelof. So you've got 5 centre-backs there, and he's wanting to spend, if, again, according to Paper Talk, 50, 60 million plus on another centre-back. You've got to take a step back here and say, whoa, hang on a second. You bought Bay, you bought Lindelof, and these two can't get a look in because your first preferred choice of centre-back pairing is Smalling and Jones. So there's no way we're going to spend another 50, 60 million plus on another centre-back for you to treat like dirt and sit on the bench. No way. So if that's what they've said to him, then fair play to him. I totally agree with that because I wouldn't let him do that. Not at all. You don't spend that sort. The money that was being touted around for Maguire, you think that he'd be playing, if he'd come to United, he'd have been playing week in, week out for that sort of price. But I guarantee you, he'd still put Smalling and Jones ahead of him and probably even leave him out of the matchday squad completely. He's done it with Sanchez. We saw that against West Ham. Highest paid player in the Premier League, and he's leaving him out completely. The guy just can't be trusted with money, mate, as far as I'm concerned. Not at all. He might have the CV to say that he's won everything. He's been there and done it. That's all fine and well. But he hasn't moved with the times for me, and he just does not know what to do with money.
Well, a lot of people have said this, and I would agree. That the reality with Manchester United at the moment is, and Jose Mourinho, and a lot of people have said this, like I say, is that the minute he argued with that Chelsea female coach, the physio, that was the moment he ended his career. He lost the Chelsea dressing room and he lost his aura of invincibility, and he's never got it back. Zachary Purvis says in the US the game is on TNT, and Stuart Featley's made a contribution, says, do you think Man United legends should speak up against Mourinho to get him out of Manchester United? As an Arsenal fan, I got annoyed when our legends didn't speak out. Well, the answer to that is that we've had a legend do it. Paul Scholes has done it tonight. He says that he was on BT a few minutes ago, and Paul Scholes said, I'm surprised he's lasted after the West Ham game. He's an embarrassment at this stage with him running off his mouth. So, is it right for him to do that? Is it wrong? I always felt with Scholes, he got a lot of stick under Van Gaal as well. He came out against Van Hal at the right time, and he got a lot of stick from the fans who, back the manager, win, lose or draw. He got a lot of stick. He was proved right. I personally think when Paul Scholes comes out with something like that, he either knows something or he's just a very intelligent guy and he can see the writing on the wall. And tonight, a very, very damning statement from Paul Scholes. But it's only what, I've said it. I said it at the weekend and I've said I'd never say it. I never wanted to say it. I was a firm backer of Mourinho. But everyone's got a tipping point, and I just think it's what's best for the club now. And I think that's obviously what Paul Scholes thinks as well. Cresswell sorry, we've played awful for 5 years, and Jose can't fix this. Smalling and Jones were bought by who, and should we stick to them? Oreo Gameplay says. Well, I think something I saw interesting today is that longest serving players at Manchester United, when you look at it, it's a joke. Smalling, Jones, Fellaini, Valencia, Ashley Young. De Gea apart, that list of players who are now our longest serving players, you could argue Jones, Smalling, Valencia, Young, Fellaini, they shouldn't be at the club anyway. But they are the key experienced players. And that's, you think about 5 years ago who our most experienced longest term players were. And you're talking about people like Giggs, Scholes, Ferdinand, Evra, Vidic. And now we're talking Fellaini, Young, Valencia, Smalling, Jones. You can sort of see where the problem is when the experienced players in the dressing room are, let's be honest, poor to shit.
Yeah, definitely. And the key thing there, I think you said there, Mark, 4 of those 5 players, right, were our back 4 last season. Right? Valencia at right back, Young at left back, Smalling and Jones were the preferred centre-back pairing. Compared to Rojo, Bailly and Lindelof, right? And that, to me, says it all. Because you got 2 overaged fullbacks, or wing-backs, whatever you class them as now with this formation. I don't even think Mourinho knows what they are, to be honest. And then you've got Fellaini, who's the plan B. All 4 of those were the starting back 4 for last season, right? And Fellaini was always been his go-to man in the last 25, 30 minutes, and even sometimes, when he used to start the games, he knew that Fellaini would put in the shift. And that blatantly says to me, he does not trust the Lukakus, the Rashfords, the Martials, the Pogbas, because the difference, is blatantly obvious. You got one hand who's safe and will run through the brick walls for him. On the other hand, you got the flair players who like to take risks, and he does not like that at all. We all know that. He does not like playing fancy football, attacking football. He likes to play defensive football and counter-attack and try and nick it. And I think that, the writing in the middle of that situation is the fact that, the Fellaini's, the Valencias will always get ahead of the flair players, the young players who are exciting and the ones that the fans want to see week in, week out.
Well, Bjorn Lundberg just said, why isn't Pereira playing? Why won't Mourinho play him? Well, he's not even on the bench, Bjorn. But this goes back to what I said in the summer. I thought Andreas Pereira on the US tour was the standout player. He was absolutely superb. And I feared... Look, he's been on loan. He was on loan at Valencia last season. Very, very good player, Andreas Pereira. He was on loan. And I think based on the summer he had in the US tour, where he was the best player and we still had first team players there, he probably wrongly thought, I'm going to be involved. We are game, 7 or 8 now into the season. He's hardly had a kick in. He's not even getting on the bench. At Valencia, this time last year, Valencia were going for the title against Barcelona in La Liga. And Pereira was getting a good half an hour every game. He's not even getting minutes for Manchester United, who are 10th in the league at the moment. This is a massive, massive step back for Pereira's career under Mourinho at the moment. And it's very, very sad. But that, I think, even if he is playing, would he progress? Rashford gets lots of minutes. I don't think he's any better than he was 2 years ago. Martial gets a lot of minutes. Is he any better than he was 2 years ago? I just think youth has been destroyed by Mourinho. And our club has been, as a footballing team, destroyed by Mourinho. But I do think we're going to win tonight. I must just say as well, everybody, I will be announcing the winner of the Manchester United shirt that I'm giving away at half-time. If you want to do that, there is still time. If you're on my bet, City have won. And I said they would. So that's one of my 5 bets down. Man United, unfortunately, are another one, but I think they're going to win tonight. But if you want to do it, link is in the video description for BetBull. You've got to be over 18 years of age. Download BetBull very quickly. Put a £5 bet on any bet you want, and you will make sure you follow me, Goldbridge FC. Just search for me through the sportsbook. Follow me, put your £5 bet on, and we'll be announcing the winner of a United shirt at half-time. Well, I will, because it's my giveaway. So, yes, Mourinho is in the tunnel at the moment.
Who's captain tonight, Mark?
I'm feeling sorry for him. I just feel sorry for him when I look at him. I'm just Mr. Compassion me.
No,
I just feel sorry for him.
No, I don't agree with that, mate. I think he's made his bed now. He's got to lie in it. As you keep saying, it's year 3, and we're no better than year 1 under him. The only difference is that year 1 he's won trophies. Year 3 now, I don't think we got hope in hell, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, he's in the tunnel here. He's looking. He doesn't look happy. Of course he don't. But who would be in this situation? But who's captain, Mark? Do you know?
I would imagine it's Antonio Valencia, isn't he? The best captain in the world.
See, again, I mean that disappoints me as well. He's got no respect to the armband. He doesn't care who wears it. Yeah, I mean, hopefully Beckham and Giggs are coming on at half time. Yeah,
maybe that's why Beckham's there. Put a decent cross in from the right, because Delot's not playing, so that's not going to not happen, is it? But the players are about ready to come out. Do you think if he loses tonight, he gets the sack? Because I don't. I've already said that.
I think if he loses tonight, I honestly believe he would have to. I really do. I think the last 4 or 5 games have been absolutely dreadful. In terms of the performance, never mind the results, but the performances have been absolutely diabolical. They've been shocking. And he needs this team tonight. He's played the safe bet tonight. He's put the team out there that are willing, the workhorses that I refer to them as, the ones that are going to, like you said, run around for him. But the problem is that midfield is not quick. Again, it's not a quick enough midfield for him to run around 90 minutes pressing the ball. It's not going to work.
Funny there, because they're just showing the tunnel, and Condobia, if that's his name for Sevilla, had a right big hug with Pogba, and then Martial had a hug with him as well, French players. I mean, I've got to be honest there, I don't like that in the tunnel. I'm very old school. I think, the opposition are the enemy, but that is a very old school opinion now anyway, because I know football's changed a lot. But and Paul Pogba is a player who looks very relaxed, but I'm firmly on Pogba's side anyway. I've said that many times, but I'm sure that'll rile Mourinho. Stephen Featley says, I miss the old Manchester United rivalry of 14 years ago. Best period of the Premier League. Best period of the Premier League. Rakavan says, why so negative? We will win so easily. Valencia is crap this season. There's a story behind that, Rakavan, though. I think we will win tonight because I believe it. But I also think there's a naivety there, because Valencia haven't been crap this season. They've drawn a lot of games. Granted, they've only won one, but they won at the weekend. They're not many points off the top half, but they're about 14th at the moment. And also, whether you're a crap Spanish team or not, Sevilla weren't a very good Spanish team. They played us off the park. They know the Liga teams play football. And that, I think if you're Liverpool or Man City or even Spurs, that's not necessarily a problem, because you play football as well. But United haven't played good football for about 6 years. And we always come unstuck against the team that plays good football. That's why Derby County from the Championship played us off the park. That's why Wolves came and played us off the park. I think United's Achilles heel at the moment is playing against teams who play football around the ground. And that's what concerns me tonight, Marcus, is that I think if anybody's thinking Valencia haven't won many games this season, they're going to be easy, look at their team. They've got Cheryshev and Soler on the bench, very good players. They've got Rodrigo and Batshuayi up front. They've got Geddes. They've got Condobia. They've got their left back Gaya, who's very, very good. I mean, it's the battle of the left backs for me. I'm interested to see that, because we were linked to him. So I think it's a very, very interesting game, and it could go one of two ways. Although you think it'll be a draw, Marcus.
I do think it's going to be a draw. Yeah, I think the team that he's put out here is the safest team that he could have put out. The safest team to nick a result, not win a game convincingly, but to just nick it and do enough. So yeah, I think I agree with Andy. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. United, Lukaku, he's not been on fire recently. He's having a really, really dire time up front. Alexis Sanchez coming back in, I think, is not going to help Pogba whatsoever because he keeps interfering in his position. And I think the only shining light in this team really is the Rashfords and Luke Shaw. I just don't see the midfield is just so slow and static.
Yeah, the midfield is an issue. I mean, it doesn't matter if Fellaini and Matic could have good games tonight, but they're not going to turn into players who move the ball quickly or move quickly themselves. That's the issue with those two, and it's something that Jose Mourinho never seems to get. I mean, I don't want to be critical about the actual game and the players because I want us to win tonight, and I believe we can win the game tonight. But from a very tactical point of view, even if we'd won every game of the season so far and we were top of the league, I'd still be saying that midfield is a massive problem for United. Why are we spending £50 million on people like Fred? Why have we got people like Pereira and Herrera? Obviously, Herrera can't play, but we're playing two players who are basically carbon copy of each other. Slow, physical, tall players. What does that say about Manchester United when our three midfielders, two of them are so slow and lethargic? It is a concern, but they're all having a cuddle in the middle. I hate to see that as well. You should all be able to be up for it without any of that. But I think the players will put on a performance tonight. I think they will.
I hope they do because he's putting a lot of trust in these players out there tonight to give him a performance and to give him the right result. But I've just got a funny feeling the majority of these players that he's put out there just don't want to play for him. They've just got their own problems with him.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, we have kicked off. I'll just get the timer up watching for you then. But to me, tonight, because Mourinho has sort of deflected that blame again and put it onto the players, the things I'll be looking at tonight are obviously going to be the speed of the ball movement. I mean, that was said at the weekend and it was very true. United were bottom of the league at the weekend for the amount of distance covered and runs made. So very, very lethargic. And there's the first long ball of the half.
Long ball, yeah.
30 seconds in and from, Smalling under no pressure hits a long ball to Alexis Sanchez, who's about as big as Bilbo Baggins. So, it's just, first 30 seconds and the tempo is set, isn't it? But... well, let's see. Valencia might not be a very good team. Let's see what they're all about. And I did get it right. Alexis Sanchez is playing on the right tonight. So it's like, we've had Alexis Sanchez for 8 months and we've been shouting, play him on the right, put Martial on the left. The one night he does it and we've got Rashford playing on the left. I mean, hopefully Rashford will have a good performance. Remember that game against Liverpool? But it's crazy that he finally does do it. It is a break for Valencia. Intercepted by Bailly.
I mean, this is the thing as well. I mean, Bailly, again, he was such a rock against Derby. Why he was dropped for West Ham, I don't know. Is anyone's guess. But I think Bailly's when he plays, I think he's quite a solid performer, all right, he makes a couple of mistakes, but, what player doesn't? But, I mean... Again, when it's like we just saw there, just now, Rashford out on the left-hand side, dilly-dallying with the ball, not putting that ball in straight away.
Here we go, though. Nice little flick on by Lukaku. Sanchez dilly-dallying, and Valencia have it back.
It's like you on FIFA, mate. Too many touches.
I'm trying to I don't do that on purpose, though. I'm just shit at FIFA. But I was unbeaten today. 3 draws and a win. But yeah, we've already hit about 3 long balls, whereas Valencia are trying to play the ball on the ground. So let's see how that develops because we're only 2 minutes in. Blady Baby says, "Are there many empty seats?" We'll keep an eye out that for you, mate. There was apparently some desperation from United to sell tickets today. I even saw somebody on Twitter saying I've been banned by United for 3 years and they've emailed me seeing if I want a ticket. That's how desperate they are. I think they were joking, but no, there are 1 or 2 red seats. To be fair,
there is the Ferguson stands seems to be have a fair amount of seats open. Good
tackle by Luke Shaw there. I think tonight. Yeah. One thing I would say about tonight though is pack up your troubles and your old man, whatever. I do think it's going to be a very equal game. I think it's going to be a good game. And even if we win this, which I think we will, I don't think we're going to win it 3 or 4-0. I hope I'm wrong.
No.
But I think it's they've got some very good players. And one thing I think United always do is they struggle against teams that play good football, but also because we let teams play football at Old Trafford and it is a beautiful ground, teams just grow in confidence. Look at Derby last week, Championship Derby, and they were inspired playing at Old Trafford in front of 70,000 people on a rug, a carpet that is Manchester United. They loved it. So good interception by Bay there. I think Bay started off quite well. Here's Matic though again. Look, backward passing.
Yeah, too slow. That midfield is diabolical.
3 minutes in, and we've hit. It's just long ball to Fellaini, isn't it? Oh, well done, Fellaini. Yeah. Brilliant chest control there. Gets Geddes in. Oh, tell you what, got a little bit lucky there.
Really? Yeah. But I mean, the first, nearly 5 minutes now. The opening 5 minutes, there's been a few long balls from United, looking for Fellaini, looking for Lukaku to get the flick on. Sanchez hasn't had really much of a look in so far. But hopefully with Sanchez out on the right-hand side, that might, in Mourinho's eyes, solve the problem of him keep on cutting in and interfering with Pogba's positioning. But it's United really need to set the tempo early here. They really need to get hold of the ball, string some passes together, settle down.
Well, that's what I was saying there. That's the problem, is they're settling down very, very nicely at the moment. And what they have got up front is... see, I like this left-back for Valencia, Gaya. We were linked to him a couple of times over the last few summers. I'm very happy with Luke Shaw, by the way. We don't need Gaya now, but what I'm saying is he's a good player.
Well, I think it's quite evident from the first few minutes that Pacini, I think that's his name, out on the right-hand side, is trying to isolate Luke Shaw. And he's not scared to take him on down that right-hand side either. So Luke Shaw's got to be careful out there.
Well, yeah, Luke Shaw actually at the weekend, I mean, Darren Sweetman says we're being outplayed again. Luke Shaw at the weekend didn't actually have a very good game, if you think about it.
No.
The first goal came down his side, and I ain't got a problem. I wasn't critical of Luke Shaw at the weekend because you're not going to play well every week, but he's been very, very good this season. While some players have been very, very poor, but yeah, he can be got at. He's not. I think he's been brilliant this season, but no fullback is impenetrable. Karen Bansai says Sanchez on the right. What the hell? I know. We've been waiting for this for 8 months. But here's Rashford. Good play. Does well.
Go on, Rashford.
He's done very well.
Yeah.
No penalty there. I think the crowd thought it was. But Valencia probably been a little bit too cocky in the penalty box there because we nearly had something. There's an opportunity to put a cross in. Pogba. Come on. Find a pass. Whip it in, Luke. You got Fellaini and Lukaku in there. No. Corner ball. That's a little bit better from United. To be honest, it came from some very crap defending from Valencia, trying to play it out from the back. I don't know what Piccini's doing there. I think he thinks he's got the beating of Luke Shaw, but suddenly thought he had the beating of Marcus Rashford. It could have been a handball, that.
Could have been,
handball to hand, but you've seen them given.
Yeah, they have been given, yeah.
Anyway, we've been decent at corners. Here we go. Rashford, can he beat the first man? We've had so many complaints about this over the years. He's beat the first man.
He's beat it.
Keeper catches it. That's an improvement. That's an improvement.
Well, it is. I mean, because Ashley Young couldn't even get it past the first man, could he, on Saturday? So, yeah, much better.
Joe Jordan says we're looking good. Well, we're definitely pressing.
We are. I think that was one of the main things that I spoke about before kick-off, that United, they needed to press. I don't think they're going to be able to do it for the full 90 minutes, but Jose needs this team to press and to get hold of that ball, control the game. And Valencia are going to... I think they can do some damage on the counter-attack. I really do.
That's a good cross in from Sanchez there. I much prefer Sanchez on the right. What? Valencia just passing out from the back here. It's amazing to see. Because they're going to get themselves in all sorts of problems here. The good thing is at the moment we can't play long balls because we've actually managed to pen them into their own half at the moment. So good. This is good period of play from United at the moment. Valencia started off well. We were hitting the long ball, but they can't get hold of the ball at the moment, and we've got them penned in. Yeah,
hopefully it can last, but
See Valencia again there, refusing the cross, doing his little dance around the ball, and then he's worked out quite well.
He's so one-sided though, Valencia. Well, he's just got a right foot. I mean, it's so easy for the left back there to know what he's going to do with it. He knows he's going to either go down the right side or give it back, and 9 times out of 10 he gives it back or he goes sideways.
Lukaku was onside there, to be fair. I think. It doesn't. Well, I don't know why they're saying he's onside anyway, because he made an absolute pig's ear of it as per usual. Timberland, but I don't think he was offside. We are pressing well, Issa Sabah. We've actually done quite well. I thought Valencia started off really well for the first 2 or 3 minutes, but we've managed to push them up the pitch, which is much more pleasing on the eye, because when we don't push them up the pitch, we're playing the bloody long ball. So, but Valencia's tactics are very interesting, Marcus, because they're trying to. They're passing it out even when they've got it in their own 6-yard box.
They are, yes. They don't seem to be phased by United's pressurising whatsoever. They're quite confident in getting it from the goalie, giving it to the defenders, playing it around in front of the penalty box. So yeah, they do seem quietly confident. They don't seem phased by the occasion or phased by this United team whatsoever. And to be honest, I think if you're the Valencia manager and you've done your own work, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, there is nothing really to be scared of. It just doesn't seem to have. United at the minute don't have that aura about them. Old Trafford is not the fortress it once was. And under Mourinho, this team, there's always mistakes in them. I mean, United just
crap by Lukaku again.
Yeah, trying to keep hold of the ball and just rushing it. I think a little bit too. They seem a bit too eager to get the goal, just to settle the nerves down a bit.
There's a free kick here. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. We're live for every single Manchester United as a watch-along, interactive and all that, so get involved. Also, we're live every single night at 8 o'clock with chat shows. We'll have a match reaction stream straight after the game. We've got fan cams as well. Lots going on, lots getting involved, lots to get involved with. So do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You'll absolutely love the community. Valencia on the attack here at the moment. They've had a bad few minutes, Valencia, so I would like United to get a goal and take advantage of that. Sanchez,
they're growing into the game, though.
Tell you what, Sanchez needs to be very careful there.
Yeah.
I did highlight Gaya, the left back for Valencia. He got right into the box there. Sanchez was behind him, and I think he almost had an opportunity to take a little Mr. Tumble there, Marcus. I don't know whether you've seen it yourself.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, he could have been. I mean, Sanchez very, very quick into it. I think that's quite lucky. I think with that. But yeah, it's. I mean, Valencia. They're trying to hold on to the ball. They're making the ball do the work.
Here we go. Luke Shaw, good save straight at the head. To be fair, from Geddes, but running off Shaw there, got the shot away. Defence is looking a little bit dodgy, to be fair, but I think that's the problem that Andy spoke about with Eric Bailly as well. Very, very good player, but I don't think he's played with Smalling this season.
No, he hasn't. It's again, it's another centre back pairing, isn't it?
I think Smalling and Bailly are our best centre back pairing. I've said that for a long time, and I think that says what our problem is. Because I think if you want to win a title, I think Chris Smalling's a very good, but you need a better centre back with Bailly. But their first time of the season to play together, it's this happened a lot last season. That constant changing of the centre-back pairing, it's not ideal. But United have won the ball back here, and I think Valencia have been quite sloppy. Pogba's got an opportunity there. Oh, I thought that was a free kick on Pogba, to be fair.
I think it should have been, yeah. I think that one should have been. But Geddes, is that how you pronounce his name? Geddes? I mean, he looks like he's going to cause United some problems. Looks like a decent threat for Valencia. A good outlet as well.
I thought that was a foul on Pogba. I think United were a bit unlucky there, to be honest. But we're giving as good as we got. It's a very, very equal game at the moment. So certainly, I wouldn't say we're playing great vintage football by a long way, but we're slowing the game now with bloody. It's like an automatic washing machine, isn't he, Matic? It's just so bloody slow. It just slows the tempo down every time. I know a lot of people like Matic, and he is a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I just don't think he suits what you need in a modern footballing team midfield. I think he's so slow. And then you've got bloody Fellaini next to him who, He's got
Well, this is the thing. You could have put in Ander Herrera in there, who does the same job. He's just obviously not as tall, but he's
Well, he's
quicker.
injured Herrera, to be fair. I would like to see Fred.
Yeah. You could have put Fred in there, but I
Perfect
think
game
with
for
Fred
against the team that plays the football. You know, Fred's very experienced in the Champions League as well. He was in Shakhtar Donetsk last season with playing against Man City, Napoli. Played really well. He's not, he's a Brazilian international as well. He's no joker. He's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, United they're trying to hold on to the ball. Valencia, I mean, when United have got the ball, Valencia just seem to get all 11 men in their half and just sit back and see what United have got. But
yeah, they do.
Again, it's very slow passing, isn't it, Mark?
Well, Roland Chunzi's just said there, it looks like Sanchez should have been playing on the right all along. Isn't that what we all thought we were buying him for? It's not like there's a few fans who can say, "Remember, I said he should play on the right." Every United fan has been saying play him on the right, and it's taken till now for us to bloody well do it. Manager proved wrong again. Ooh, side netting from Rashford. That was quite good though.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of chances we've had where we've got in behind, but nothing on target yet. I think Valencia are sitting quite pretty at the minute. They really are. I think United, Rashford looks like he's the danger man. Lukaku's going to be the one that's going to be getting the flick-ons with the long balls for Sanchez to run in behind. But, it's nothing.
Tooty's agreeing with you. So slow.
It's not exciting football at all. It's just the passing's going sideways again. He's looking for the wings.
Do you think that bloke in front of Beckham's ordering his pizzas for later? He looks very happy. You know what I mean? You'll know what I mean if you saw it.
I think you could have been saying, look, they haven't got a number 7 shirt in Beckham's size. Get us one here quick.
Here's Valencia on the attack. Nice little ball in again. Cross comes in. Ooh, don't shoot from there. He did. You're never going to beat De Gea from there.
Yeah, definitely. Valencia have caused. They've not caused major problems, but they have got in. They have got in behind Bay and Smalling. They do look dangerous when they've got it, especially that Pacini lad out on the right hand side.
You love this Pacini lad, don't you?
Mate, that first run. No, that first run against Luke Shaw, he showed no fear to me.
They're into the box.
Come on.
Get rid of Fellaini. That's Valencia again. I think Valencia is such a weak link this season. I don't know anybody else. And it was in the Jazz hands then. I think he is such a weak link this season. Valencia, he's so bad, and people ignore it because he's the captain and because he's been very consistent for us. But I think he's been bad since Christmas. So many teams get at us down that right hand side, and they've really exploited that again. I mean, here they are again. Geddes is getting loads of room. Cross coming in, that'll be fine. Luke Shaw, just let it go. Goal kick.
Deal with that. Yeah.
Okay.
See it out. That'll do. But I mean, what are we nearly at the 17-minute mark? Nothing really to get excited about. I don't think so far.
We're not losing.
Well, yeah, all right, we're not losing. But
I think this is what'll happen, though. I think we'll be the worst team, but we'll win.
Yeah, it's always the way, isn't it? With certain teams, they play badly and they just do the job. They get over the line. But I mean, I'm worried about this Geddes lad. He's getting the balls out on the left wing. He's whipping them in.
He's going to get booked there very late. If he doesn't get booked, he's very lucky. He's not going to get booked. That's all right because he's already weak enough without a yellow card. Yeah. He probably should have got booked. He should have got booked. Yeah. I think even the Valencia manager was up on his feet just now, telling his team to get in a bit tighter in the midfield. I mean, that's definitely the weak link in this side. The midfield is so slow. Sally Dever Red 7, how is that not a yellow? I mean, it's a bad thing when we're United fans and we're saying that should be a yellow card, but it's...
It should be, yeah, definitely. I think, did he go through the back of him or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very friendly. Got away with that. Yeah. I've seen you been sent off for something like that a couple of days ago on FIFA.
Get sent off for anything on bloody FIFA. I tell you what, I don't know half the time. I've had so many red cards. Well, there's an element of pressing to United today. They are sort of pressing in the inept way we do press. Pressing's only good if you press as a team, and we're not pressing really. We're trying to close angles.
Yeah, I mean, like you said there, they are pressing the ball. It's just the fact that...
That's a good tackle by Fellaini. Pogba's got a little bit of space.
Got space, providing play forward.
Rashford's lost it, and Valencia will clear it. There are opportunities on the break.
Again, I just think they're so slow, United, so slow at going forward. They really are. I mean, all right, Sanchez is quick, Rashford's quick, Lukaku's quick, but it's the midfield. There's no backup. The backup to the front three is so slow. It's almost like they got to hold it up out in the wings and wait for the bodies to get in the box.
Well, my summary would be 20 minutes in is that, I don't think thankfully we've not been as bad as we were against West Ham, because we're not parking a bus, and I don't think you can park the bus at home. But, Valencia, whatever the result, Valencia are definitely the better side, and that is, always going to be an issue at United, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Pogba should wake up, says Sian Kabardoob. He's been very quiet. He has been very quiet.
But it's not just him, though. It's not just him. I think, Fellaini, all right, he's got his head on a couple of things and brought it down on his chest, but he's been very quiet as well. I just think the midfield is just being bypassed. It's being outplayed. Valencia's midfield 3 or 4 is so quick. I mean, there's a few late challenges going in here as well. United just don't seem to be up with the pace of the game at the minute. It's almost like they're still stuck in second or third gear.
Well, it's the same old thing, isn't it? Some people have mentioned the Sevilla game, and I don't think we've conceded as many chances as we did in that Sevilla game. But it's the same old thing as the Sevilla game, where we're playing a Spanish team that's very technically very good, and they're just taking the mick out of our midfield. I don't understand why he's played Fellaini and Matic, because they're not a team that's going to play long ball. They're going to keep it on the ground, and we've got 2 players in Matic and Fellaini who are just very slow. And they're having a field day with their little intricate passing. And we've got a player who can play against that. We've got Fred. He can play against that sort of thing.
That's it. £50 million player, and he's on the bench.
Well, they've just had a booking there, which I think is a bit harsh. Coquelin booked when Valencia didn't get booked. I mean, I don't know why I'm sticking up for Valencia here, because if that's a yellow card, then so was Antonio Valencia. Thanks for the comments.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Coquelin, he's picked up a card for that one, but fair's fair. Valencia should have had one then.
Well, that's the thing about football as well, is no one's actually mentioned that, but it does make me think. A red card could be massive for Mourinho if we can get one of their players sent off and he wins the game because they go down to 10 men. It's no one ever thinks about it like that. It could be a dodgy reffing decision that helps us out, or a red card or something could be massively important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the same Coquelin that was at Arsenal, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Alan Barney's just made a good point there. Do you think players would play badly on purpose to get rid of him? Do you see? I don't. And also the thing with that is there are players on there that know. If you're Marouane Fellaini, you're screwed at United if Mourinho goes. I mean, although every manager that's been here so far has played him, so maybe maybe you shouldn't be worried. But there are some players in that team who will like Mourinho and will play for Mourinho. There might be one or two who think life would be a lot better if we got rid of him. But I think it's very hard to go out in front of 75,000 people and not play when you are paid a lot of money to play football and it's your passion in life. I think it's very hard to not try, if that makes sense, because I think you get lost in the thing that you love, don't you? I don't think it's possible to just not try. I think it's I know that's sort of what Mourinho's hinting at, but I don't think it's possible to do it.
I think it's very easy to leave your foot in on a tackle and get a red for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy to do that, but I don't think the players would be able to get away with it at Old Trafford, because the fans would just pick up on it, and the chance would be going around like they were saying about Pogba against West Ham. quite a few of the fans apparently was
Good,
telling him
good
to
section
get.
there from Eric Bay.
Yeah.
But they've still managed to get it out. I mean, Nightmare TV's just made a contribution saying everything seems a bit quiet and relaxed, like they're sort of half trying. And Sion Thomas says Fred needs to be on. I mean, you know what though? I mean, I choose not to believe that because I don't believe it. But if these players want to get a message to the board that they've lost, the manager's lost them, then there is that opportunity to do that. And I tell you one club who do it very, very, very well. They've done it with Villas Boas. They did it with Mourinho. And they had players like John Terry there. So, Chelsea are a prime example of a club that has a couple of times their players have downed tools and got rid of managers. And then the next season, the very same set of players go and win a title. And you think, well, how can you be so bad and then so good? And I think the players at Chelsea certainly turned on Mourinho, definitely, and down tools, because it was the same set of players who then went and won the title the next year. So it can happen, but I would hate to think a United team would do it.
Well, I think in this day and age, and with the money that's around, anything's possible. If players are not getting their own way, or they're not liking certain things, and they're not getting what they signed up for, then I think they would turn on. No matter who the manager is, no matter what club it is. But it's a shame that the players would sink to that low level to get what they want. Why it can't be just talked out or gone to the board and just say, look, this ain't working, that ain't working. What's wrong with talking these days? Nothing.
I think it's also worrying though, because I do want to bring this in, is that we're sat here 25 minutes in and Valencia are dictating the play, and we're Manchester United at Old Trafford, and because we're not losing and because we're not playing terrible, we're saying it's not too bad. But actually, that just shows how low the expectations are of United at the moment, because I think back to Champions League games against even Barcelona at Old Trafford, and the first half an hour would be bombing down the wings, committing men into the box, getting the crowd up. We've just become so set in our ways now that, I'm sat here thinking it's not bad. We're 0-0. We're doing, we're not out of it. Valencia having more ball, but we're not out of it yet. But this isn't Manchester United.
No, it's not. It's not at all. This comes down to Mourinho lowering the expectations. These players are good, and I think under the right guidance, these players could probably challenge for anything. There is some quality players in this team. They're just mismanaged. That's all it is. They've got the wrong attitude instilled in them, and people can say that there's a lot of deadwood in the team and it still needs to be cleared out. And you're right. Valencia
are in here.
Yeah.
Oh God! Straight across the 6-yard box. Smalling does well to clear.
Well, I mean, if there was someone taking a gamble on that. But it's United living dangerously now. Living dangerous. The more men they're committing forward, they're just it's bypassing the midfield. It's just too slow. It's too static.
Well, we you know why we go so slow? Because it takes Fellaini so long to get in the box, so we have to piss about with it for so long to work an opportunity, and then when he is in the box now, we put the cross in. But to be fair, Rashford nearly scored then, but. It takes us so long to get everybody where we need them to be, and there's nothing exciting about it. It really is just about lofting balls into the box and trying to get Fellaini on the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, thankfully, Smalling was there to clear it. But if someone took a gamble, if they had, a full-on out-and-out number 9 who took a gamble at that on the penalty spot, that's 1-0 to Valencia.
Yeah.
I mean, again, down the right-hand side, down the wings, see Rashford, it's taking too long to get in there. It's taking way too long to get that ball in the box.
Yeah, Lukaku's hold-up play is atrocious, isn't it?
It's dreadful. It is absolutely dreadful. What is the manager instilling in these players? What the hell is he saying to them?
I think that's a good header by Rashford. Again, it would have been harsh to give a penalty there, but it does hit his hand and then his body.
Yeah, that's the second one there. But again, I think it's more of a case of ball of hands, isn't it?
Cockmuncher says it was a handball, and he would know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is Valencia? Are we talking about the team or our right back? Because our right back's pretty bad. I don't know what he offers us anymore. I would have liked to have seen Dalot playing tonight, to be honest with you. But it's so slow from United. Matic is on the halfway line there, pointing at Smalling to move forward, to pass it.
I mean, what is the answer to it? Well, we know what the answer is. We want an energetic midfield that's quick, that's dynamic, that can last the full 90 minutes, and that can press. This midfield just does not do that at all. It's slow, static, lethargic, pedestrian. It's absolutely it's absolutely shite. It's shite, this midfield.
I said this in my preview yesterday. I do think. I mean, Rashford's looking a little bit reckless here at the moment, which is what he got sent off for before.
Yeah. But I mean, just before that, Mark, Sanchez is dropping off that right wing, coming right into the centre again.
Yeah, getting in Pogba's way.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that about Pogba. Pogba's not having a very good game, and I'm a big fan of Pogba. But I said this when I was talking last night. I said, I think Mourinho should have actually dropped Pogba tonight. Not because I would have dropped Pogba. I'd never drop him. But, he slates him all the time, yet he keeps picking him.
Yeah. I think it's just a bit of show of faith,
Corner ball. I think this might be from Ali. If it's the real one, he says, "Are they playing 4-3-3? How are they looking so static? Matic is not a United player." I think Matic is ridiculously slow. But this is where I think we can get something from this game. Just bloody getting corners and trying to use the height that we've got. It's Rashford, and it doesn't beat. Well, it does beat the first man, but it doesn't beat the first post.
Yeah, poor corner.
Mark Bolton's right. You can't play Matic and Fellaini in the same midfield and expect good football. No, you give it up the minute you do that.
Yeah, definitely.
You can win, but you're not going to play good football.
I remember you saying at the start of the season, Mark, on the American tour, if we think that Fred, Pogba and Matic will be the midfield, we'll be sorely mistaken, because Fellaini's going to be starting 30-plus games this season. Yeah. And I think you're totally right. I really said it.
I was furious when we kept Fellaini, and so many people were like, "Oh, leave him alone. He's a good Plan B option off the bench. That's what Mourinho wants him for." And as you say, I said it, and a lot of people said it. There's no way he's going to be a Plan B option. He's going to be playing starting games for Manchester United. And I'll tell you what, though, I'll say what I've always said: if United start Fellaini, they ain't going to win league titles, and that's already been proved because we're not winning the title. But this is an opportunity for Alexis Sanchez from a free kick, and. Boy, how much I can see him scoring this. I think get those Jazz hands ready, because I think it would be typical of United. Really poor half an hour, but no possession, but 1-0 ahead. Oh, he's at the wall. I thought I was going in. I was ready. I was poor. What's that from Eric Bay? That's interesting, though. That's very interesting. Eric Bay's 40 yards out. He tries some stupid volley. Lukaku's there going like that, but instantly Paul Pogba's there clapping him. But everyone falls into this trap that Lukaku's the one who claps everyone and is really positive. Yeah, it just goes to the difference in the mentality between the players. Pogba's clapping him for the effort. And Lukaku saying, "Well, why didn't you play me in?" I've just seen something ridiculous from Lukaku. Then the players just don't know what they're doing. They really don't. They don't know what the plan is. They don't know anything. Yellow card here. Rodrigo on Eric Bay. Yep. Must have thrown an arm. If he's thrown an arm, it should be a red. They need to abuse Rashford's pace and get up there, says Sion Thomas. It's caught him in the neck, actually. Yeah, I think. I don't think there was anything in it. Oh, it's not come across as though he's thrown anything, has it? CGS says our bench has the turning circle of a bus. Like our midfield. But again, you look to the bench. A bit of bother here. Yeah, Martial's on the bench. Oh, he's all right. Fred's on the bench. Was Mata on the bench, did you say? Yeah, Mata's on the bench. McTominay, Darmy and Lindelof. So realistically, from an attacking point of view, it's Martial for the front three positions, and then Fred in the midfield, I suppose. But what the hell's the point of having McTominay and Darmian on there? Beyond me, but Because he loves him. It's his son. He's adopted him. The papers have gone in. He's going to be called Jose McTominay. Ali says, hey Mark, do you work a full-time job or are you full-time on the United stand? A lot of people ask me this question, and it is a contribution, so I will answer it. And the truth of the matter is that I do a lot of work from home now. I changed my job probably February time. I was working in an office, but now my new job allows me to work from home a lot, and my hours I'll do them here and there. So it means that I start most working days at 7 o'clock, but not United stand stuff. But then I'll normally take a long lunch from 1 till 3, which is playing FIFA and stuff. So I'm sort of my own boss in relation to my other job. Talking about their own boss, where's our right back? Geddes is coming into the box here. I think he's going to mess that up. But good block by Alexis Sanchez. But I don't know where Valencia was there.
Valencia was in a completely different country, I think, then. Absolutely.
Eric Bay's gone down. I think he might have to go off.
Oh, man.
That's a shame.
Well, I did say he's made of glass. Seems like whenever he starts a game, there's always something wrong. There's always a risk with him, which is a shame. So I think he's our most solid centre back. But yeah, I mean, the guy comes into the box, good block by Sanchez, but yeah, Bay, where the hell Valencia is from that, I don't know.
He's on his holiday, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinks
Nowhere
it's the international break and he's off back to South America. So it looks like we'll see... Well, I'm surprised Lindelof's coming on. I thought Scott McTominay was the best centre-back we've got. But there we go. James Baker, is this a must-win for Mourinho? To be honest with you, I think Mourinho would take 0-0 now. He won't get the sack off 0-0, will he?
No, I don't think he would. But we all know what the second halves are like.
I saw Sally Devil Red 7 saying that, we've not been awful this half, so will this be our okay half?
Yeah, I think the second half, we all know what the second half's going to be like. It's no secret. So I think he'd take it 0-0 now and be in charge for the Newcastle game, definitely.
Nightmare TV says, players seem so confused. Obviously, Jose doesn't really coach them to attack in fluid motions, but does he even coach them to defend as well anymore? Well, I don't know how he can't see what the problem is down that right back position. It's shocking. I tell you what, I'm tempted to start talking about your favourite flavour of crisps. We haven't done that since the Van Gaal days, but it's a little bit. I wouldn't say. I'd say United are pretty dull. Valencia look a little bit like. I think Sevilla played better than Valencia actually, but. I think you're right there. Sevilla played better as a team. Gary Neville looks piss bored as well.
Yeah, I think Valencia here, they've got better individuals, but they've just not put it all together.
No.
And I think
why he's a bit like Lukaku, isn't he?
Yeah.
His build-up play is pretty poor. I tell you what, the best player in the midfield is that Condobia for Valencia. His passing and strength is. I don't know why no big teams ever looked at him. He's only 25, I think, as well.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Colin Brooks says Neville looks very depressed in that scarf. People should get the Samaritans down. He's like, he doesn't look very happy, does he? But I think it's smile, do your jazz hands. I tell you what, we don't need any bloody jazz hands tonight because we wouldn't be clapping this.
No, definitely not. It's very, very poor, I think, from Manchester United, considering they needed a reaction.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. It's not much of a reaction, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, and again, you go back to what has Jose said to him before the game. What was his team talk before the game to galvanise them, to rally the troops?
Oh God, Lukaku. It nearly worked. Yeah. He skinned himself, and then he did manage to put a
lucky, yeah. But I mean, what has he said? What has he said to him? Because I don't see nothing here. None of the players are on the same page at all, and I think that's warranted by the fact Pogba clapping and Lukaku saying play it in. They can't string the passes together, really. There's no movement in front. It's dire. It's dire again. Still the same problem with Sanchez on the right. He's coming into the middle, getting in the way again. But the problems that they're blatantly staring everyone in the face here, and it seems like us, the fans, can see it, but Jose can't.
Well, we might win this game, but I don't think we're going to win it through good football or dominance. It's we're going to win a game like maybe Burnley can beat us when a big team when they go to their place. It's far from a dominant performance, is it? Who did that there? Matic, some stupid little flick in the box.
Like, yeah.
Bloody idiot.
Yeah. Thinks he's Ronaldinho now.
Don't do that in the box.
I mean, based on the first half, and based on what our performances are on the second half, I don't see us winning this at all. I really don't. We've created nothing in 39 minutes. We've had the one attempt from Rashford, which went in the side netting, I think. We don't look dangerous. We don't look up for the game. They don't look enthusiastic about it at all. So sad to see. It really is. This is not a Manchester United performance at all, and it hasn't been since the start of the season. But I mean, if Valencia there with that last attack they've just had coming down the left-hand side towards Luke Shaw, if that ball had got played over to the right-hand side, Guedes was in again. There, Valencia's nowhere to be seen.
I think Valencia have looked quite wasteful in the final third. I think that's been helpful for us because possession-wise, they're certainly the better team. I just think we've probably been better in the final third, which is saying something. They've got they're playing two up front as well. So
the final ball from Valencia has been pretty poor, to be honest. But
Pogba's playing way too deep again.
Yeah.
Look, people will say Pogba's been crap tonight and he's been lethargic, and I agree with that. But the big problem is, if people haven't figured it out yet what the problem with Paul Pogba is, the game's just too slow for him. It's way too slow for Pogba.
The players he's got around him.
It's too slow for a lot of the players.
Fellaini and Matic do not do Pogba any favours whatsoever because they're just not quick enough. Not quick enough at all. I mean, by the time Pogba gets the ball when he's looking up, he's got one target, which is Rashford for me, because there's no point in passing it to Lukaku because his touch at the minute is atrocious. Sanchez is coming into the centre of the field, so he's blocking his way.
Gary G says we're a very average team now. No top quality players in the squad anymore. I think we have got a very good squad. I just don't think we picked the best team. I mean, to be honest with you, tonight we could have a midfield three of Pogba, Matic, and Fred. We could have a front three of Lukaku, Sanchez, and Martial. That's two players that come in that make our front six infinitely better straight away. And he can pick that team, but he doesn't. Craig McCullough Games says, I feel sorry for the fans who travelled up there not getting their money worth. Well, hopefully they can get 3 points. I mean, look, we can still win the game. I didn't say we were going to play well. I do think we can win the game at 0-0 with a home team. You'd think at some point we might create that opportunity because as good as Valencia have been, they've been very wasteful. So at 0-0, maybe we can get something out of it. But it's not been pretty, has it, Marcus?
No, it's not. Definitely not. And no wonder United were trying to give the tickets away at the ticket office, saying that you can buy them on the door as well tonight if you just turn up. It's the amount of empty seats there in the stands is absolutely shocking for a European night at Old Trafford under the lights. It's absolutely shocking that stadium is not filled, and it's all to do with the style of football.
If we got a new manager in, just a question here because it's a big if. And if nobody heard what Paul Scholes says on BT, he said he's surprised that Mourinho's still in charge after the West Ham game. He's embarrassing the club the way he keeps running his mouth off. So Paul Scholes ultimately, look at Kondobia just skipping away from Fellaini there.
Yeah,
it's just left him, absolutely left him.
And it's not as if he's going to catch him up to make the tackle either. Too many players in this team that are like that. Too many slow players.
Mark's chair says you've been sitting on me forever. I need a repair. Probably do, yeah. But what I was going to say is, and I want people in the live comments to answer this. If we got a new manager, would you keep Lukaku? Because I think he's Obviously, you'd have to give him a chance under a new manager. Because one thing I would say about Lukaku is if he gets chances, he will score them. And he does live on scraps. I've got to defend Lukaku there. He does live on scraps. But his build-up play is atrocious. For a man of his size, he can't hold it up.
Yeah, he's very cumbersome to me. Very cumbersome. I don't mind the guy, but I've always said I don't think he suits a Manchester United number 9. Not at all.
That was good play there, though, from Lukaku.
Yeah, saying that, yeah. But, like you said there, he does live on scraps. I mean, I think if we put more crosses into the box, he'd get himself a lot more goals. Definitely. But I think that the way the team's set up and the personnel that are in the team, it doesn't suit him whatsoever. It really doesn't.
Well, it looks like Lukaku's got to do better, says Fraser. He's in a bad run at the moment as well, isn't he? He's not, if he's not scoring goals, it really does highlight what a bad footballer he is. But Valencia haven't done a hell of a lot going forward.
Yeah. No, but just because the final ball into the box, the final pass that they're pulling off has just not had that quality on it. But I mean, people moan about Pogba. We all moan about Pogba, and I think a lot of that comes from his price tag.
Valencia picked up another yellow card here.
Yeah.
Which we've done very well not to have a couple of yellow cards for ourselves because they've had a couple. It's definitely a yellow card though. Pogba was getting away there.
Yeah. Bit cynical, that one.
But you know what? We are set up like with a away team.
Yes.
We're trying to hit them on the break, which is it is what it is, isn't it? It is. That's the facts. So we're into stoppage time in the first half.
You say that, we're set up as you're waiting, but again, there's only one man that can take the blame for that. I don't think it's all down to the players. I really don't. Once they cross that line, they're told to play a certain way and to play his tactics to a T. And this is what they're doing, I think. And they just don't want to do it. They don't want to play it safe. They want to play with a bit of risk, a bit of freedom.
Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We've got match reaction show straight after, and we've got the fan cams with Flex over the bar there from Geddes. I think it is starting to feel a little bit more like that Sevilla game now, where they were very wasteful against us, weren't they? But they are just... the thing is, that how many times does this need to happen before somebody actually takes action? We played Sevilla here in March and got played off the park. We played last week against Derby and got played off the park. Nothing's changing. All right, we might not be able to play football, but surely we can find a system that stops teams just tearing us apart all the time. There's just no change in the way we play. It's the same boring old crap getting played off the park all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not even figuring out ways to stop them doing it.
Yeah, and I think that going back to the shot with that just went over the bar from Valencia again. Sanchez should be hugging that right hand touchline, but it's because of him cutting inside into the centre of the park that they're getting so much space down there. They're getting 2-on-1 with Valencia down that right hand side. So Sanchez again, same old problem. Tactics again, same old problem. And I think the second half is going to be a carbon copy of everything else we've seen this season. I just don't see. I don't think. I mean, Fred and Martial and Mata are the exciting players that are on the bench that can come on and do something. But will they actually do something when they get on the field? Will they actually do something? Do they have the enthusiasm to do it? But it's so slow, so slow. It's so poor. I think we probably had 2-3 attempts none on target. I think. I don't even remember the Valencia goalie making a save this half, Mark.
No,
De Gea's had
we've had
one
a couple
or two.
of shots, haven't we? But
but nothing major. Nothing's been on target. But we're losing the ball in the midfield because it's so bloody slow. It's really poor. Really poor.
John Miller says that possession stats are actually quite equal. Shots on goal are quite equal. Just a boring game. But he's blown up for half time. Nightmare TV says, unpopular opinion, I preferred Van Gaal, just as boring but not as negative. I think the one thing I would say is what I said during the first half there, is that we are now settling for the fact that we're not losing a game, that we're not out of a game. But this isn't Manchester United at Old Trafford in a Champions League game. You know, you should be playing Barcelona or Real Madrid and, you know, getting the crowd cooked and getting on the front foot. We're, you know, if we're so far on the back foot, we're nearly toppling over. It's just dreadful, absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
And Mourinho there just looks like a man beaten. He really does. It's amazing.
I think the last 5 to 7 minutes of that half, they were coming at us a little bit more. They were being a little bit more adventurous, and we actually looked like we were being penned in. When you said we're the away team, that's exactly what it looked like. We looked like we were just waiting there, waiting for them to come onto us, come and attack us, and we'll get you on the counter attack. But our midfield, I'll say it again, our midfield is too slow to play on the counter attack. You know, Lukaku's got a touch of a donkey. Rashford, you know, the poor lad, he tries, but he don't do nothing. And Alexis is playing so central where he should be hugging that right hand side. It's so disorganised.
I see a lot of people having a pop at Pogba again, and I've just put a tweet out there if you want to have a look at it. But I'll tell you what I just said there. I said, look, if you play Matic and Fellaini in the midfield too, it doesn't matter. You know, I can see a lot of people saying there, Rashford's been quiet, Sanchez has been quiet, Pogba's been quiet. Why do you think they've been quiet? They've been quiet because you've got Matic and Fellaini, whose favourite pass is something that's only 5 yards away, slow and backwards. There's no dynamism, there's no creativity, and there's no speed from the midfield. So by the time Paul Pogba gets it, or Rashford gets it, or Sanchez gets it, they've got 4 or 5 players around them. You split that the other way to Valencia with Condobia and their midfield. They're moving it really quick. How many times is Geddes getting it on the right? Or or Marcus's boyfriend, what's he called? Pacini on the right hand side. They're getting it, and every time they're getting it, they're getting 1v1s with their fullback. Now that's not a coincidence. That's not because we're committing men forward, because God, we don't do that. But they isolate themselves because they move the ball quickly. They move through us in triangles and they create space and they isolate our fullback. We never get 1v1s. We never get 1v1s because the ball from back to front is so lethargically slow. And people confuse a bad Pogba, a bad Rashford performance because of that. Because what are they supposed to do when by the time they get the ball, Valencia have got, well, we've seen it, Marcus, haven't we? They've got 10 men behind the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not stretching them. We're not stretching them.
No, we're not stretching them at all. We've got, we're using the left side way too much. Rashford is being the main outlet for us. Sanchez, like I say, he's not sticking out to that right-hand side at all. He's cutting inside way too much. And, it's pretty obvious when we're defending against them, the only outlet we've got is that left-hand side. Sanchez should be hugging that bloody right touchline for his life and be saying to him, look, I'm out here, I'm open, give it to me, I'll run with it. Lukaku runs ahead of him, Pogba runs ahead of Sanchez through the middle, and that's it. You got a pacey 4 players there attacking, trying to push Valencia back, because it's a dead cert Matic and Fellaini ain't going to keep up with them. So if you focused on them 4 and look for that outlet down the right-hand side where Sanchez should be, because he can pass the ball, he's a decent passer of the ball, I think we'd have a little bit more joy. But, I mean, Lukaku again, man. I mean, how many times have we got to say it? His touch is atrocious, absolutely atrocious. He should be bullying these defenders off the ball. But he's not. Every time he gets the ball, he's losing it. He's stumbling over his own feet. There's just nothing. There's nothing in this team. It's pathetic at the minute. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's. Look, I just saw a live comment, super chat comment there. Sorry, I've just disappeared a minute, but my channel does this stupid thing where it wants to change channel, so I've just to move off and sort it. Biggie the Third says, why not play Martial on the left or Rashford? Because Rashford's not doing anything. Red Jedi says, if Pogba did that Matic flick in our own box, people would absolutely batter Pogba for it. The hate is ridiculous. I think you're right. And Udit Batanaga says, I agree 90% to what you say, but don't rate Lindelof above Smalling. Look, yeah, I mean, just look. I think the thing I really wanted to do is get your comments, really. I think me and Marcus have had so much time in the first half to talk about it, and I don't disagree with what he said, and we've spoken about it. I think both of us just feel it's so slow. It's not a home performance. This is meant to be a response to a bad result, by the way. I mean, what a response that has been. But how do you feel about the game? In the live comments, let us know. And also, I've seen a few people saying, do you think the players are not trying again? Just quickly, Marcus, why people are putting their comments in. I don't think the players aren't trying. I just think the system is dead. It's just dead. It's just, you're not going to get the best out of an attacking team with a system that's got two centre defensive midfielders that are ridiculously slow at moving the ball. It's I don't think there's any evidence there that the players aren't playing for the manager. I just think they might be disillusioned and frustrated with the system because they can't be the players they can be. But other than that,
I mean, to me, the players look like they're... I mean, to be honest, they look like they're bored. They're absolutely bored to death because there's no excitement in that team whatsoever. They know they're not going to get the attack mentality out of Mourinho, and they know it's just the same boring run-of-the-mill tactics from him. The midfield is so slow. The 4-3-3 system, it doesn't suit our flair players at all. It doesn't suit Pogba. It don't suit Rashford. It don't suit Lukaku. The only people it suits is Matic, Fellaini, McTominay, the slow players. That's all it will suit. It won't suit our flair players whatsoever, or the players who are creative, because the tactics just nullify that. So, yeah, to me, they just look bored. They look depressed. I mean, Valencia have had a couple of chances where they have got in. They've had a couple of shots at De Gea. They've had a few that have gone over the bar, but they've shown more intent going forward than what we have. And that is absolutely baffling me. Where's the reaction? Where's the performance? Where are these players showing that they're behind the manager and they want to play for the badge and for the club? I'm not seeing any of that whatsoever. All I'm seeing is slow, lethargic, pedestrian, boring football, and I think a lot of those players out there, even the ones on the bench who are disillusioned while they're not in the starter 11, they're probably thinking as soon as this guy's out, the better.
G-Met says Pereira should be on the pitch, no questions asked. The right starting 11 never happens, and that in itself is us. I think, whether you agree with the starting 11 tonight or not, the constant changing of it just never helps. Tommy Jordake says the players are depressed. Who wouldn't be? Mourinho has dug his own grave. Never mind the tactics, says Castro Nangolan. I have a feeling United is losing 1-0, says Gongja. I still think we're going to win it. Floyd Clark says that's... Well, I don't know what he says because it's absolutely whizzed by. I'm sorry about that, Floyd. Mourinho and Pogba out. No respect for the club, says Badger. Disagree, but it's your opinion, mate. Lukaku might get his days numbered once a new manager arrives, I'm sad to say, says Matthew Lewis. I hope we lose so we can get a new manager ASAP, says Ethan Teal. It's funny how we turn to Martial when Rashford doesn't work and Rashford when Martial doesn't. It's a team game. One flair person will not change everything, says Prani Saraf. Yes. And also, if Martial comes on and gets the winner, we know he's not going to get to play 4 or 5 games in a row, is he?
No.
That's not going to happen. We know where we are at Manchester United. I just want to win this game because I want Manchester United to win the game. But we're never going to see the improvement that we need to see under this manager. And at some point, we all know he's going to get the sack. It's just a case of when. Advertise with Pereira, but he ain't in the squad, says Bushead. Yeah, I did put that tweet out, didn't I, earlier, that it makes me laugh that United this morning, Manchester United's official Twitter account was advertising this game with a picture of Andreas Pereira. And many United fans said, I bet he's not even in the matchday squad. And he wasn't. Udit Batnaga says, I feel sorry for Lukaku, who has no support. United need a number 10 that is used to playing the long ball to him when he has no 130 metres around him. Rashford showed he got annoyed, Mark. Yes. Marcus, I'm just going to leave you for a minute. I'm just going to quickly go and use the facilities, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it, go on. I'll take over. So, yeah, everyone who's saying stop the clock has been stopped. So, Do not worry about that. So, Mantis, I don't even want to try and pronounce that second name, so I'm not going to make a fool of myself. But Mantis, thanks for the contribution, mate. He says, when I saw that basketball midfield, I knew it's going to be slow and boring game. Where's our club gone? Look at the empty seats in the stadium. Totally agree with you. I think those empty seats symbolise what the tactics are at the minute. No one wants to see it. No one wants to see it at the minute, and it's so sad because a Champions League night at Old Trafford should be sold out. They shouldn't be advertising on social media saying that tickets are available at the door. It's such a shame. L Train 16 says, for once I don't agree with Marcus. Sanchez can't hug the touchline because he ain't a winger. He should be playing up front. Play Martial and Rashford, and both can hug the touchline. Well, L Train, to counter that, I would say look at the difference between Sanchez and Rashford. In my opinion, I think Rashford, he's not a winger, but I think he plays better out in the wing. But Rashford, he's hugging that touchline. He's running to the byline, trying to get across in. Sanchez, I'm just not seeing that. Rids 39. Why did my super chat not get read? I'm not sure. So Udit has put a contribution in. Thanks. It says, I feel sorry for Lukaku who has no support. United need a number 10. What is the use of lounging long ball to him when he has no one 30 metres around him? I think Mark read that one, didn't I? So you had that one read out twice, and there we go. Animesh says, why is Delo not even in the squad? Your guess is as good as mine. Pereira's not in there either. Anthony Klamali says, shut up, caller. Today there's effort. Show me where. Show me where. George Carl says, Marcus, wake me up from my coma. It's bad, isn't it? It is bad. It is bad. It's depressing watching this at the minute, and something's got to give. It really has. Valencia were awful in the first half. Sanchez had to bail him out. The low should be starting this game, says Test Account. Yep, Valencia was awful in the first half, missing a couple of times on the right-hand side. Mr. Exclusive says that's happened to me twice. Has it? Okay. I'm not the only one then. All right, mate. Yeah. So get your boots on and play. Drawy, if I was closer, I would do. I'd offer. But I mean, a lot of people in the comments, Mark, not happy, saying the football is boring. It's yeah. Mm, yeah. You're muted, Mark. No one can hear you. They can't.
Good job
They
you
can't
saw
lip
that.
read.
Good job you saw that. Yeah. I'm there looking at the live comment. In summary, what I was saying is that you can't blame the fans for being apathetic now, because like Paul Scholes said, why is he still the manager? It's embarrassing. And I just think a lot of fans now are not going to change their mind. They're just very frustrated, and they are they're waiting for what needs to be done, inevitably.
Yeah.
But so we'll see. I mean, it looks like we're getting very close to the second half now. I think we'll win it, or it'll be a draw. I do not think we're going to lose this game of football tonight. And obviously, my bet was based upon Manchester United winning. We're the only 0-0 in Europe. Man City have won. Real Madrid are losing to CSKA Moscow at the moment.
Well.
But But I think we will win because I just think at Old Trafford you're going to get a chance, aren't you? And if we score that chance, I haven't seen anything from Valencia that makes me think they're going to score. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
Couple of people in the comments saying you was better muted, and while you was off on your bathroom break, there was a couple of comments about the giveaway.
Oh yeah, I'll do that in the second half because I was meant to do that at half time, but it will take me literally no time to do that. I'll just go and pick somebody. So
okay.
Marcus predicted we would lose to West. It's very difficult though. I just want to say that because obviously we get people on, and Marcus was saying you predicted we'd lose to West Ham, and it's very before a game's ball's been kicked, it's difficult to do that, isn't it? But you were right.
It is, but I think that you can tell a lot by the personnel that he's going to pick. I think when you're playing McTominay, Fellaini, Matic, and then you got Pogba in that midfield as well. It was pretty obvious that he was going to go with the three at the back, three centre backs. I actually thought he would have put Fellaini as the centre back, but he didn't. And that I think that ultimately was his downfall, having a young lad who's a natural defensive midfielder as centre back. So, it's you got to live. You live and die by your decisions, I'm afraid, and he's cocked up way too many decisions for my liking this season so far.
I think the team just looks ridiculously relaxed. I think that Mourinho looks ridiculously relaxed. I saw him in the tunnel there, joking with Geddes, Sanchez running on the pitch, having a joke and a laugh, and I think. That's all fine and well, but do they not realise that to football fans of this club, it's more than a joke and a laugh. This is like ridicule at work tomorrow or at school tomorrow or, unhappiness going to bed tonight. It matters, and I just don't think there's enough of that in the club. And, I'm not saying every player needs to be intense because that's not human nature. I think in the United team, even the 99 team, there was probably one or two players that, were quite relaxed personalities, but you weren't allowed to be because you had a couple of winners like a Roy Keane who would
grab the game by the scruff of the neck, wouldn't they? And the old days. A lot of people talk about the old days, but it's the fact that I don't think you get that mould of player.
Kondogbia again is just absolutely making Fellaini look shit tonight.
Yeah. But again, the second half has started exactly how all the second half start. So we're going to be in for an interesting 45 minutes, I think. I don't think there's going to be any change whatsoever in terms of the tactics. He'll probably throw his substitutions on when it's way too late. But it's what you got one man there, one Valencia man bypassing three in United midfield, and eventually, he gets the free kick. It's really sad. That's supposed to be our strongest three-man midfield there in terms of strength, brute strength, and he's gone past every single one of them.
Well, we're using Fellaini to bloody press the ball. Well, Lukaku, oh my life. Less said the better about Lukaku there. Controlling out for a throw-in. He doesn't do himself any favours because he gets absolutely ripped apart by so many. I mean, when Chelsea were going to sign Lukaku, I did a tweet saying that I hope Chelsea are going to put some inflatable barriers around the edge of the pitch to stop Lukaku's first touch.
I remember that, yeah.
And I also said something like Lukaku's first touch will be in Stamford Bridge and his second touch will be on the M6, which is a motorway that goes up to the north of England. And then he signed for us and I got ridiculed a bit. But actually, I still stand by it. His build-up play isn't very good.
No, it's not. And the fact that he needs 4 or 5 good chances to put one away is what I base my theory on about him. He's not a Manchester United number 9. He really isn't.
Oh God, here we go, Valencia.
Yeah.
There we go. They've still got it. Valencia is too predictable. He needs to take on players and cross the ball. Draw tonight. Draw v Newcastle. Mourinho sacked the following week, says Top Geezer. I don't think he'd get sacked for a couple. I don't know. I'd be very surprised if his club sacked him anyway. To be honest,
I think they'd have to, Mark, before it's too late. You know, I said at the start of the season, I'd rather him go and be in all the competitions with a fighting chance than get someone in and we're out of everything. You know, they've got to try, from a business point of view, they've got to try and salvage the season and make sure. I mean, top four is priority, of course it is. But
good chance for Valencia there. Geddes putting it wide. They're starting to go up a gear here, and United.
Yeah.
My worry with United is that, you know, it wasn't a terrible first half. Are we going to do the normal trick of not playing for two halves? And he's not far away. That's why he's smiling, because if he gets this curl right, it's not coming back enough. I think De Gea's got it covered. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner if you are new. Get involved with the channel. We'll be live every single night, 8 o'clock. I'll do a tactics debrief tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We've got fan cams and we've got match reaction stream straight after this one as well. Valencia coming forward again here with Rodrigo. He does a Lukaku control and it's a throw-in. How did he miss that, says Quezzy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, United were lucky to get away with that one, I think.
Is there anybody on the pitch anybody thinks has done well? You know, because Red Jedi's just said there, Matic has been terrible. I think Shaw, Smalling and Bay have done okay. I think Valencia has been terrible. But
terrible again, yeah.
And the front six, I don't think anybody in the front six has done well. I mean, De Gea's not done anything wrong, but I don't think De Gea's... That's why I think we're in with a shout here, because we've not been the better team, but De Gea's not had any saves to make, really.
No, but it's the old saying, isn't it? As long as it's 0-0 or 1-0, you're always in with a shout. But I think that doesn't apply to United in this game because we've not looked threatening at all. We've not created nothing. It's all Valencia at the start of the second half. All Valencia. United just don't seem... They haven't come out of the dressing room.
Valencia's out of position again.
I mean, where the bloody hell is he? Oh,
fortunately, our defence has been very good and we don't look like we're going to concede, but they are getting to the edge of our box with real frequency at the moment.
We're being pushed further and further back, and it's the same old story in the second half. They just don't come out, and they don't come out and play.
There, what are we doing here? Triangles are in the back three. Just boring.
Too many risks. I've seen a couple of, quite a few of the fans in the crowd here as well. There's a few of the green and yellow scarves, and it's all the Valencia fans singing in the corner at the minute.
Well, the way this is going, there's a Valencia goal coming. It's absolutely inevitable because they're just absolutely running all over us at the moment. We've done nothing in this half.
I mean, Matic and Fellaini are literally on the edge of the deep.
Well, this is it. We've won the ball back there, and all the Valencia players that were on the attack have got back.
They're back, yeah. Where's our players? They're just too slow to get up there. Way too slow.
I'll tell you what, there was a chance there. Paul Pogba wants a red handball for it, but it would have been a lucky. It was a lucky breakaway from United, really. I mean, the ball from Sanchez is okay. He hangs it up. The header is a mistake by their right back, and then Pogba probably should be scoring there, but corner for United. We've done sod. I think we're going to win it. I do think we're going to win. I just think it's set up for that to happen, but Rashford needs to stop putting his crosses into the hands of the keeper.
Yeah, he's going too close. Angle him out a bit wider, but at least he's past the first man on that one. But yeah, it's apart from that corner, it's all been Valencia for the first 7-8 minutes.
Yeah.
But I wish I shared your optimism, Mark. I don't see us winning.
Maybe I am being optimistic, but we're 0-0. Valencia still haven't created a very good chance for all that. I mean, if I was a Valencia fan, I'd be like, if we don't win this game, what a joke. But 0-0, and you're the home team, I've got to think that United at some point are going to create some sort of a chance. And one thing United are under Jose Mourinho is we don't create much, but we are quite clinical. So I'm just thinking maybe that's what will happen. There's a chance here. Rashford.
Come on.
Oh, so many players.
Waste. Outnumbered. Oh dear. But no,
I don't know whether we should put the ball out there. There's a player on the bloody floor. The referee has stopped it. I think. That could be a blow for Sevilla because it's their best. I think he's been the best player on the pitch, Condobia, and it looks like he might have done his knee.
Yeah, big blow for Valencia. Yeah. Oh, it looks painful one.
Yeah, he might just jarred his knee, to be fair. Aria gameplays. Tony Valencia is an 8 out of 10 performance for Valencia. Omar says this is embarrassing now. Oh, stick with me. I might just famously get this one right. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win. Jazz hands, we're going to win. Jazz hands, just while there's a break in the play. Manchester University Student Union have banned clapping and whooping, and they want everyone to do jazz hands now. I think there is a genuine reason behind it. I think it might be just to do with, I don't know why, but Piers Morgan wasn't very positive about it. Andrew Southwick, very hard. He says it's not a head injury, he should have played on. Technically, I think that's probably right.
That's the rules, isn't it? Yeah. I mean,
Dennis
that
Law
is the rules.
Beckham there. Ed Glazer. Glazer sat next to, more or less, next to Beckham. May as well be Ed Glazer.
Yeah, I was going to say, might as well, isn't it?
Giggs is there with Butt. Beckham's there. Dennis Law's there. We've seen Gary Neville there.
It's very interesting that all these players, ex-players, are there tonight. Very interesting. Becks, Giggs, Law, but Neville. I don't know. Very strange. Very strange to have that amount of ex-players watching the game. But I mean, 10 minutes in, Mark, second half, same old story, I think. Second half, never put a decent 90 minutes together.
I think it just comes down to the midfield he picks. It's so unimaginative that it just slows us down. It slows us down so much, Matic and Fellaini. And a better team, let's be honest, a better team would wipe the floor with us. If Valencia, who are not doing particularly well in La Liga, but they're still a good team, as I said, but they're not doing particularly well, but they can come to Old Trafford away from home after a bad start to the season and play us off the park. I mean, who are we?
Yeah.
Who are we anymore? We're definitely not the better team.
And that comes down to not having a set game plan, because he's frequently changing the squad, to the opposition. We're never going to have a settled team under him. We're never going to have settled tactics or an identity to ourselves. It's just going to be the same old, week in, week out.
Well, we'll probably score from this because we've just won the world's softest, undeserved corner. So it'd just be typical of us to go and score from it. We nearly did.
Yeah.
But it was nearly an own goal. That's what I mean. I can see us winning this game. I'm certainly not saying we deserve to, but Valencia very nearly scored an own goal from that corner. So at 0-0, you've always got a chance. You've got to have a chance.
It may be that bit of luck that Mourinho has on his side tonight. I think he's going to need something now. I think he'll pretty much take anything now.
Rael Gomez says this is absolute garbage.
I mean, even the wing backs now, I don't even remember the wing backs, the wingers or the right back or left back getting down the wings and supporting Sanchez or Rashford much
I
in the
think
first
McTominay's
half.
coming on.
Good God.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. This is what we need. McTominay's coming on. I told you we were going to win.
You had any beers yet?
No, I don't need to have any beers. I feel lightheaded as it is.
Oh, who's he going to take off, though?
Probably be Pogba.
If he does that, that's criminal. Absolutely criminal.
You know we'll do it. You know he's going to do it.
But you never know, Mark. You might take off Valencia or Luke Shaw and go the 3 centre-back route again.
Yeah. He might park the bus for the point.
Yeah.
It's a good point at home to Valencia. It's a good point.
The worst thing as well is I've just seen Darmian warming up as well.
Yeah, I saw that. He might have just been having a bit of a run.
I hope so. The 2 worst substitutions in history you could make, and he makes them. Oh dear. But United, seems like they're sitting back again now.
Yeah, I think we've been set up all game to hit them on the break, which I think at home is disgraceful, really. You know, as the home team to sit back and play on the break. It's shocking. I mean, it is Matic now. Look, he's got the ball. He's had about 6 touches already to play a sideways pass to Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
But possession is 50-50 and attempts on goal are equal. But it's interesting because it's not been like that. It's not been that sort of a game at all.
Now, people will say Pogba's been quiet tonight, and he has. But every time he's got the ball, he's looking at passing it forward. Yeah, that's the positive thing you can say about him. Every time he's had that ball,
a very soft free kick here.
Got another one.
I mean, this is why I think we'll win this game, because this is just a nothing ball from Paul Pogba. I don't think that's even a foul off the ball. And then we've got a free kick in a brilliant position, but how that can be a foul, because Alexis Sanchez has got absolutely zero chance. It's a very good position for Paul Pogba. This in a, and as I say, we've been dreadful this half. Absolutely dreadful. David, I knew they'd cut to Beckham there because it's Beckham territory.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just imagine him. But I mean, looking at the attempts, 8 attempts for us, 7 for Valencia. So
this is Beckham territory. This is, and over the years we've seen Pogba with free kicks. He's been very unlucky. He's hit the post a few times. So go on, Pogba, sit him down.
Go for it.
This could be. No, I don't agree with that. I don't think Mourinho can turn it around, but it could be a nice little moment for United. Oh, he hit it well.
Ooh.
Keeper had it. He hit it quite well there. I think if the keeper hadn't read it, makes it look easy by tipping it over. But if keeper had got his legs wrong, good positioning by the keeper. He made it look very easy. Sometimes the keeper like that, they've not got their legs right and they don't move in time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just looking back on it now, goalkeeper positioning was absolutely perfect. Good hit by Pogba.
Oh, we'll get the corner again here.
Yeah.
Which is lucky because it was awful. Fat E says he failed once, but I honestly think Gary Neville. Oh. Go on. What's going on? It's head tennis.
Come on.
Sure. Pogba. No penalty. Bastard. He failed once, but I honestly think Gary Neville would be a good fit for United. Lives, breathes and bleeds United. And free kick. Definitely knows the way to play. I think Gary Neville would be a big, big risk, to be honest, at United. But I thought we were going to score then. We were getting quite close. Close.
Yeah, bobbing around in the penalty area, but Valencia seemed to deal with it. No, I can't. I don't see us winning this, Mark. I really don't. The effort levels just don't seem to be there. The urgency isn't there.
Yeah, but you know what? Valencia still haven't had a good chance.
No, maybe not, but they're quite comfortable. They are quite comfortable, though. I mean, they're pretty solid in their defending. Very well organised.
Wheel the piano out for Sanchez, says Mike Fletcher.
Well, yeah, good. Yeah, I think United had a few opportunities there to create something, but it don't materialise. I think Lukaku has been absolutely awful so far this game. Absolutely awful. Not what you want from your main man, your main centre forward.
He's been bad for a while, hasn't he? That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't had many chances tonight, has he?
No, but then, I mean, you look at the previous games as well. You know, again, he's not getting chances. I mean, we all know confidence from strikers come from goals, but he's not getting anything. The service is dire to him. He's not getting nothing. He's having to run into the channels or come really deep to pick the ball up.
Well, we're approaching that 65-minute mark. You know, so a few people have said 0-0, haven't they? A few people have said 0-0.
Yeah.
I suppose it's that sort of nothing result in between, isn't it?
The thing is,
when we are coming into it a little bit more now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen Mata a couple of times warming up down the bench as well. Martial's out there, but I mean, looking ahead in the Champions League, you know, Juventus to come home and away. We got to be winning the home games at least in the group stage of the Champions League at least. But I mean, if this finishes 0-0 or it's a worse result than that, I think they've got to make a change in the management to try and salvage it.
Well, we were doing all right, but Valencia have managed to get up the pitch a bit now, and they're having a bit of the ball, which I think when we pen Valencia into their half, we seem to get a lot more success. And I know that's completely obvious, and it's a bit of a Michael Owen statement, but what we team when they've got it in their half, they seem to make mistakes, and we're picking up on those mistakes. But obviously, when they've got the ball, they're terrible in the final third, which is good to see. The
thing is, when they're capitalising on our mistakes, we've literally got, because everyone's so slow to get back, or particularly in the midfield, we're basically left with Smalling, Bailly, and Luke Shaw as the back three. So it's going to be dangerous. It's a really dangerous game for United to be playing, but we need to win. You know, the manager needs to win, so he's got to take a risk. He's got to go for broke, I think, because a draw is not going to do him any favours at all.
Lewis Pitter makes a really good comment. He says good strikers create their own chances, and that's something I don't think Lukaku is capable of doing. I do think Lukaku will score you 30 goals a season if you give him the chances, but he's not a striker that's going to make something out of nothing. And, you know, should United have a striker like that? Here's Coquelin into the box, and a very good cross, and Matic will bring it clear. I didn't know Coquelin. I thought Coquelin was a CDM, to be honest.
I thought he was as well. That's where he played for Arsenal, wasn't it?
Oh, Pogba's just gone and done his ankle there.
Oh,
my life! And over the bar from Batshuayi, but I was more looking at Pogba, who's gone down there. I think it might be all right, but the chance for Sevilla was probably the chance of the game. The cross comes in from the right, knocked down from Rodrigo, and Batshuayi probably should score from there. If that was Lukaku, you'd be saying what a miss. So
yeah. Right, that's the third time you've mentioned in the second half that we're playing Sevilla. All right.
Yeah,
we're playing Valencia.
Valencia. Same thing. They're playing us off the park.
Exactly, yeah. I was just going to say, I know the game's reminiscent, but completely different game. Different team.
When Mourinho managed Porto, they played scintillating attacking football, hard to believe, but true, says Ben Silva. Well, you know, Chelsea, when he was first at Chelsea, they did as well. I remember like Damien Duff, Robben. They used to beat teams like 3 or 4-0. Drogba, they could defend, but they could attack as well. I mean, we've just never seen that. We've never seen that. Even those 4-0 FCs, if you remember them, it was basically being 1-0 for 70 minutes, and then the opposition would try and attack, and we'd just pick them off on the break. It wasn't like we were 4-0 up at half time very often. I think
that seems a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. Well, at least my stress levels have been quite low tonight. It's been a very therapeutic, boring match. There's not been a lot of excitement. There's not been any banging of the table.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd rather have the excitement, not the banging of the table. I'd like to have the excitement. Be interesting to see what the fan cams have got to say. I have messaged Flex to say, tell him what Paul Scholes has said and get an answer.
Yeah, very interesting. That'll be, yeah.
Well, Flex is actually messaging me saying that he can actually text me, which says a lot because he's got 4G. You never get 4G in Old Trafford, so that shows you how many people are there.
But United again, down that right-hand side, Mark, it's taking too long.
I can't believe he hasn't made any subs yet. I'm very surprised he hasn't made any subs yet.
Nearly coming up 70 minutes, and I mean, look at the crowd, it's so quiet.
I actually think I'm not saying it's good, because it's far from good, but I do feel that we are going to do what I said we would do. We are itching into this game a little bit more. And just feel that Valencia probably had their chance with Batshuayi, and maybe when we get our chance we'll score it. We don't deserve to win this game, but
I think even if I don't see it happening, but even if we do win the game, it's don't let it mask what the performance has been like whatsoever. The performance has been an absolute shambles.
He's Rashford down the left. Think. He's got. Is there any support? No.
No, nothing. No movement. No, nothing. No one showing for a pass. I think Rashford's suffering from the same problem that Martial has. Down out on the wings, you just get crowded out. They're so quick, them two, that no one can just keep up.
Chris Smith says, bring Jones on, at least we'll see a goal. He's not even on the bench, Phil Jones, tonight. We've got Lindelof and Darmian as our defence. He's probably doesn't like Phil Jones now because he missed that penalty. God knows who's in the Josie gang this week. We just don't know. You never know. I always thought Sanchez was in it and he got completely dropped at the weekend. I think the only three definites are Lukaku, Matic and Fellaini. I think they're the only three that he never slags off and he always talks about.
I think he knows that Lukaku has to start every game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he said that last season, I think, if I remember rightly.
Here we go. So this is good because we've got a little bit of mistake. Pogba can play a ball forward to Lukaku. Good play. That's where you get the best out of Lukaku. It's a mistake from Valencia and Pogba just instantly plays it into the channel for Lukaku to get onto. We never get the chance to do this because it's so slow. But Pogba actually gets the ball because he wins the ball and then he can play the quick ball. But when he normally gets the ball, he can't play the quick ball because there's so many players back. That's a prime example there.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and again, it goes to show that Pogba is the only one in that midfield who's willing to pass that ball forward. It just seems that Fellaini and Matic are just told.
Oh, my life. We got so lucky there. I don't know where the defence was, but we got so lucky there. It would have been one-on-one. So it's opening up a bit this now, but United are doing better for it as well.
Yeah.
We were lucky there. Sally Devil Red. Guedes is literally going to be... He's got a long way to run from the halfway line, but he had the momentum and he hit the back of his heel. I don't know where our defence was.
Yeah. They're all over the place. They really are. Absolutely all over the place. There is no leader in that back four to take command.
Why didn't Sanchez just blast that there? Fellaini lays it off to him. But the game is getting a little bit stretched now.
Yep, should have done a first-time hit.
Well, it's there to be won, this game.
Oh, man. They're living dangerously. Just under 20 minutes to go.
Mm.
I mean, you'd have to say on the chances now in the second half it's been pretty equal, but I still think the second half performance leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, Batshuayi's coming off for Gamero. I think Batshuayi he's very similar to Lukaku, isn't he? He's Belgian as well. I think his build-up play tonight's not been very good. They've probably had quite similar performances, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, yeah.
I
mean,
can't believe
wise,
that Mourinho hasn't made any subs.
no,
Fellaini's
it's
been
strange, isn't it?
fantastic, apparently, says Mr. Silas 2009. I don't know whether he's just making that contribution to try and wind me up and get me stressed, but it's not going to work. I think he's been absolutely shit. I think he's had one or two touches in the box that have been okay, but that's where Fellaini's good. I think as a midfielder, I've seen him being left for dead so many times by, especially that Condobia. I think he's absolutely bossed it. And I think if Valencia's front three was any good, they'd have. We would have been a bit of trouble because their midfield has been way better than ours. But Rashford, another corner. See, I think we've got the momentum at the moment. I think we can win this.
I don't know. I think it's pretty even. I think both teams are going to try and go for it now, but I worry with United pushing so many men forward. I mean, like you said just now, if it wasn't for the fact that the lad got it caught on the back of his heel.
Closer there. We've had so many corners though, and we've not done anything with them. Surely at some point, with the height that we've got, doesn't beat the front man. Why does Rashford take corners? Absolutely shit. We've had so many.
Yeah, so many corners, and I think only one of them in this game has beat the first man, where it went straight to the keeper's hands. Now you got a centre forward here or a winger, whatever he is, taking the corners. I think even Matic could probably take a corner.
Well, just do what we did against Watford and loft it up there. You got the height.
Yeah.
You know, that we scored against Watford by lofting it up, didn't we? Just do that. Here's one from the other side, so maybe Sanchez can do a little bit better. Franaz is a little bit worried that we could get left open. I think Mourinho is trying to go for the win.
I agree with that comment. I think so many men are going forward here. They're going to be slow to get back if we get caught on the counter.
It's a lovely ball by Bate. Not such a good ball by Sanchez.
No. But again, if you look at the game as a whole, what has Sanchez done in this game? Nothing much.
He's coming off. I think Martial might be coming on. Last 15 minutes.
Well, at least we're going to get someone else out in that touchline that stays there and don't interfere with the central.
Jazz hands for Sanchez. Can't clap.
Right. Martial. What's that? I don't know. So I'm just relaying what's happening to Mum.
I can't believe he's not brought Fred on, to be honest. It just says, it speaks volumes about Jose Mourinho, that does.
What on earth? What on earth is he thinking? We've got less than 15 minutes to go now. And again, I said it, I think at half time, substitutions are going to be too late, I think.
I still think we can nick it. I know I've been saying it all night, so if this comes off, I'm going to look like some sort of evil genius, but I still think we can nick it because I just feel that at Old Trafford, surely there's a chance there. And Valencia, just, I don't know, they seem to have started to drop off a bit, which is great for us because we've got so much height. They seem to be dropping off to hit us on the break, which is allowing us to get a lot of yardage into their half. Here's Martial. Nice little ball in. Pogba. But we're getting a...
Yeah, as soon as Martial comes on, he's involved straight away. So I'm going back to that Sanchez substitution. I think when you see people just sat in their seats with their arms folded, not even applauding him as he's going off, I think that tells you everything.
I do think Sanchez has been better tonight on that right hand side, though. Don't know what you think.
No, I don't see it, mate. I really don't. I think he still kept on getting in the way of Pogba.
Maybe it's just because he was playing on the right, and that's where we all thought he was going to be playing. But
yeah, I mean Valencia's been left open a couple of times in the first half, so he's not really been doing defensive duty very well.
Soler's coming on. He's a good player. I don't know whether he's having a very good season, but he's a good player. And Coquelin's gone off, so he will go to that right-hand side. Potentially quite an attacking change by Valencia.
Yeah, they're not worried about it at all. They're not afraid to go for the win. They're playing some really good football as well. They're still playing it out from the back.
Yeah.
They're not resorting to the long ball, just kicking, hit and hope. But couple of niggly little fouls coming in as well now.
Nightmare TV says Sanchez always disappoints, want him to come good, but never can see it happening until we are coached different and have an attacking mentality. Valencia are in here. So I keep calling them Sevilla. Hopefully it's not going to be that nightmare. It's just a very similar game, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is. We might not lose it, but it is the same sort of game.
Yeah, definitely. It is very, very reminiscent of that game. Very reminiscent. Valencia, near enough, they're doing it tactically exactly the same as Sevilla did last season. But I mean, it's again, United. They're not pressing quickly. They're standing off.
I don't think though there's any bit of this that you could say the players haven't tried. I think the players have tried. I just think they're stuck in a bad system. I think you can definitely say some of the players have played terribly, and I agree with that. But I don't think you can say any of the players have not tried. I just think the system is absolutely dead. And that's why United are struggling.
Yeah, I'd agree with that to a point. I think you're right with the system. The tactics don't work. The system doesn't work. But I think the personnel in there, the personnel don't pick themselves. And when you've got players in there not putting in a good shift against a good Valencia team, I must admit, they have come and played football, but I think you can tell with certain players in this team, they're just not they're not trying. Like we know, we've seen before how they can play when they're up against it. When their backs are against the wall, we've seen them graft hard work for the managers. I've just not seen that tonight at all. I think there's a couple of players that can come out of this with their heads high. I can't believe
that's a free kick on Paul Pogba there. This is an absolutely fantastic opportunity for a free kick. I think the ref has been the 12th man tonight.
Yeah.
Soft, but we've got to score this free kick. Got to score it.
I think United have been quite lucky tonight with dead ball situations. I think the referee sort of set the tone with Valencia not getting a yellow card in the first half of that tackle. We've got to at least do something with this.
Don't let Lukaku. Well, I suppose that Lukaku could blast it towards the corner, but I personally think if you get this right, no goalkeeper in the world can save it. I remember Koeman scoring a goal like this against England in the World Cup qualifiers in the early 90s. And if you get the dink right, he ain't getting it. If you dink it over the wall right, he ain't getting anywhere near it. Yeah. Lukaku smashes it into the wall. You absolute pillock. That was Pogba's. Yeah. Pogba won the bloody free kick. Let him take it.
I was going to say, Pogba should have took it. He struck a good free kick earlier.
Get out.
He struck a good free kick earlier, Pogba. He should have let him have that one. I mean, Lukaku's done nothing all game. He's banged that one straight into the wall. I've got to say, what on earth is Pogba doing letting him take it? To be honest,
it's madness, absolutely madness. You need a goal. You've got an absolute gift of a free kick opportunity, which needs a little bit of guile and a little bit of technique, and you let Mr. Timberlands come up and just blast it into the wall. It's like a charity game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only thing you could say there was it favoured the left footer.
I think this is Valencia's first corner of the game. Cherishev's on now. Yeah. Did well in the World Cup.
Yeah. I think he's going to cause a problem. Cheryshev, he had a decent World Cup.
He was good off the bench for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't be fooled here with the scoreline. Okay, it's 0-0, but I don't think United have played particularly well at all.
No, they
I
haven't.
really don't.
I think we've been very lucky that Valencia have just been very poor in the final third because they've had lots and lots of the ball.
Yeah.
We've
Valencia's final.
got it out.
Yeah, Valencia's final ball has been absolutely terrible. Luckily, thankfully, they've not had that quality to put them away. But
it's just whatever happens in this game, and of course you can win a game of football. I felt United would win this all night, but for me, the bigger picture is that this was meant to be a response to a disgusting result against West Ham, and it's felt very, very much like we're the away team. And of course you can win a game of football as the away team, but I mean, as a home team, I just think it's really, really bad. The final third performance has been shocking by both teams. Rashford shouldn't take corners. We need a goal. Otherwise, Valencia may get something. Yeah, I mean, 0-0 is just a non-entity result, isn't it? Really, it's not what anybody wants. But I can't believe that we're very close to the end of this game now. It's passed by so badly. If it finishes a draw, I mean, obviously if we win it, he's fine. But if it finishes a draw, he scrapes a result against Newcastle, and everything gets forgotten again. So.
Yeah, I don't think people are gonna forgive.
That's a penalty. Oh, come on, ref! Why is that not a penalty? Martial sends him back to Spain. There, I thought Pacini had already been booked.
No,
it wasn't a penalty.
No.
It wasn't a penalty, but it's a good opportunity again to put a decent free kick into the box. I mean, they're there to be taken here. They're there to be taken here.
Again, Martial's involved in it again. I'll go back to the substitution came too late. If he'd have put him on, the 55, 60 minute mark.
So Rashford on free kicks, all he's got to do here is just blast it.
Hopefully, Lukaku's nowhere near it.
Onto the bar.
Oh.
To be honest, though, to get that in from there, it's got to be something ridiculously special.
Yeah. Unlucky, but we're pressing, which is a good thing.
We're not impressing, though.
Yeah, definitely not impressing, but we are pressing. But Valencia, they're holding firm. They're not giving United an inch. United's really going to have to work for this in the last 5-6 minutes. But how many changes? He's made 2 changes? Or is it just the one? You would have.
Martial for Sanchez, yeah.
Sanchez, just that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's as if, it's been a shit performance, and like you say, there's not been any momentum to try and win it. Here's a break here. I think Pogba's took too long there.
Yeah.
Whip it in.
Come on. Oh, man. Too slow again going forward.
Another corner.
See Mourinho about a minute ago looking quite distant, to put it politely.
Come on, let's do something from a corner. We've had so many corners, surely. Oh, it's Rashford again.
Well, to be fair to him, Sanchez ain't on the pitch no more, is he? So
that's how desperate we are, that there's nobody else who can take a corner out of 11 players. And Luke Shaw's taking it now. This might mean something. We might actually do something.
Come on.
Over the bar. Well, somebody got it. It's the first good corner of the game. It's the 87th minute.
Yeah. First one with any meaningful. Oh man, yeah. Unlucky. Yeah. Meaningful corner. Our first one of the game. 87 minutes. Why does it take so long?
Well, I mean, what are your general thoughts in the live comments, and Marcus as well? What are your general thoughts if this stays 0-0? What are your thoughts about it? Because obviously it's not the, losses are obviously the things that get people sacked. The draws aren't, but
I think overall the performance that's happened that I've seen tonight, I think it's a performance of a bit of despair. I think they don't look they look totally disjointed. There might be a togetherness within the team, but it looks to me like
Matic there. What is he doing? He just wins the ball back and then gives it him back. But I think Valencia have been atrocious in this final third, and I think that's massively helped us tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought Valencia would be a lot better with some of the players that they've got. I think they've dominated the play. I think we've been, as a home team, we could have got into this game more. Maybe if I dab and dance on social media, I might regain the players' trust, says Jose Mourinho. So I think in some ways we've been fortunate, but in other ways, because of that, I think we've also had opportunities in this game through a lot of mistakes from Valencia, but we've had opportunities in this game.
Yeah, but they've not been clear-cut. Yeah, they've not been clear-cut opportunities where we think, oh yeah, this is a certain goal.
No, it's been awful. It's been awful from United. Let's be honest, it's been awful. I can't defend that. It has been awful, and I think a better team would have caused us a few issues. But here's Martial with a bit of space. Oh, mistake. You see, this is the thing about Valencia. I think they've looked quite lethargic at times in the passing.
I think when we go up against, there's no way that we can afford to play like this against Juventus, home and away. No way at all. I think a better team with better quality will absolutely annihilate us.
Oh yeah, any quality in the final third, I think we'd have been in trouble tonight.
Yeah, and that's the worrying thing. Valencia haven't been good, but they've lacked that quality in the final ball. But United, they just seem to have lacked quality all over the pitch. They really do. There's a togetherness with the squad, which is quite evident, but they've not created clear-cut opportunities. None whatsoever. The closest we've gone to a goal is Pogba's free kick for me. Which, was, 3-4 minutes ago now?
Yeah.
So it took 85 minutes to have a shot where the goalie's actually had to make a save. And that's not good enough. That is not good enough. We've got the players to do it. We've got the players to execute an attacking plan. But it just seems that Mourinho is stifling the team. He's sucking the talent out of them. He's not allowing them to express themselves. It's almost like he doesn't want them to do it. He wants them, obviously, to play safe and, not concede and hopefully come away with a 1-0 win. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough, especially when it's boring football and lifeless football, where it's not exciting. It's not even getting the crowd up on their feet. There's a problem. And surely the board have got to take notice of this now. The empty seats.
We've got a free kick here. I thought that was their free kick. I'll tell you what, the ref's done everything he can tonight. I've got to be fair. He has given us a lot of opportunities. Now, is this going to be a Fellaini winner late on here, Marcus, your man? Can we have some jazz hands? If he puts this in right, Luke Shaw's delivery has been reasonably good off that corner.
Of course, we'd all take a winner now, wouldn't we? But, I mean, I don't think United...
I tell you what.
Close.
I've got a late corner as well.
It could happen. So, just under a minute to go. Just over a minute.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, Marcus. The link is in the video description for the match reaction. I've already entitled it Mourinho out because I'm not going to change about that. But we will have our chat about it afterwards, and the link is in the video description, top line, or you can go through the homepage. But United have been better this last 20 minutes. I think we've tried, but
yeah, you can say, yeah. I mean, okay, we tried, but no conviction.
No. Right, everybody, that's it. The link is in the video description. Get straight over there for the match reaction stream. It's finished 0-0, and I'll be doing my match reaction there. So thanks to Mad Marcus for coming on.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure.
And let's get over to the match reaction stream and have a chat about that. I'll see you all over there. Link in the video description or through the homepage. I'll be live in about 30 seconds' time. See you soon.
Laters.
Cheers for coming on, mate.
No worries, bud. Was that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The result was shit, but
I timed it to about 23 seconds behind.